Good morning. Good morning, Bigly. How are you?
I'm awake.
I'm awake. We appear to be that way. Let me shift over. Hello, Vashu. Good morning. Yes. It wasn't listed on the schedule. Oh, you mean like in the panels, Vashu? I have got to update those this week.
Which
so
panels?
On our channel, like the panels underneath show the schedule, and the schedule's the old Shambazzle Games channel, the pre-Bigly.
We gotta fix that
BazNBigly.
so that people know to come and watch.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more correct.
Aw, good morning.
Good morning, Aaron Dior.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Good morning indeed. Well, we're excited because we have another complete slew of great things to chat about with you today.
Did you get my reference?
What
the
reference?
neighbor reference thing?
No.
Well, because Arendor said, good morning, neighbors.
Yeah.
And then I said, won't you be my neighbor?
Oh, I did get your, yes, Mr. Rogers
Okay, good.
reference.
Thank you.
I did have a childhood in the North Americas. I guess, I don't know. Is Mr. Rogers global?
Canada and the U.S., he's American.
No, but I mean, like, do anybody from the UK or Europe? Do you know, like, did you watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, or was that just like an NA thing? Think about it.
I don't know.
But we got a great show coming up this morning.
Happening.
But first, let's, get the warm up going.
Yeah.
And a little chit chat in the coffee shop, shall we? Yeah.
Work and lurk.
Work and lurk.
Do it pleasant.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. We appreciate the support. I'm still in like Shambazzle Games mode. So. Watchtower, hello, good morning. Good to see you. What, you had a childhood? You were just born as an adult, Baz. It's true. I came out of the womb as a social media spammer. That's what happened. Thank you very much for the host, Watchtower, helping us get the word out early this morning. Pleasant. Also, could you tell Saskatchewan to stop trying to give me their weather? They're just trying to push it down, like here. Like, just get a massive province-wide plow and just push it down.
Sorry,
into the northern states.
we don't talk.
I wish.
We don't talk to. Unfortunately, we don't talk to a Saskatchewan right now.
A Saskatchewan.
A Saskatchewan.
We don't talk to a Saskatchewan.
That's right.
Yeah.
The provinces don't speak very well with each other.
Nothing's getting through. James, thank you very much for the like and the share, helping us get the word out. Much appreciate you.
And Watchtower, thanks for the host.
F in chat for Pleasant Doom. What do you mean?
Well,
F
clearly he means F in chat.
For Pleasant Doom. Here you
Fuck.
go.
Maybe fuck, because he can't say it because
What's your language? Oh, that's right. The bot is still the bot is still a prude. Prude bot is on patrol.
Prude bot. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
That's what he meant, though.
No, probably not.
That's true. I was educating Steph on VTubers the other day.
And by the
actually,
other day,
we watched a couple. I was just kind of saying, that was a VTuber because there was one
last night.
I meant last night after stream. Because there were a couple that we had seen, and they're pretty impressive, man. Like the facial tracking and stuff like that for a lot of them too.
See,
it's a really cool F in chat for.
I think I was right.
F in chat for. I got you. Yes,
See,
I think you
was
were right. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
stay out of it. I'm not helping anything.
I understand the
3 minutes on the countdown before we kick into a great show. Today we're talking about a lot of really cool things. Your nerdity warning, of course. Funny shit on the internet that we've seen. A Call of Duty playing Gramma. I'm excited to talk about it, especially at the end of a long Call of Duty stretch. Arendor. I know that you are a big... Yeah, I'm just never going to get it right, so... The rage is carried over from last night. We're still working through some shit after yesterday's stream with Ghost of Tsushima. But Erendor is I almost rolled.
Can you not do that?
No.
What? You can't roll? How do you do a Scottish accent?
Erendor. I honestly fake it.
Arendor.
For there's like sometimes I need to warm it up.
Wow, I didn't
know my
know
God.
this.
You know what? If you sit me down with a nice scotch and under this weather,
so you couldn't
I
say
can't. I totally fake it. Under.
You do fake it.
I fake it. I totally fake it. I can't roll my R's. I can't.
You're exactly
Is that
like our
genetic
friend
thing?
Meg.
I'm exactly
But
like
you
Meg in a
fake
lot
it.
of ways. I wish I was more like Meg in a lot of ways, actually. So
Our friend Meg and Brad, we always say that, like, they're two of our best friends. Actually, one of them is in here, Captain Kyraxis. You've seen him around. And we always say that, like, her and Brad are very similar.
Yes.
And
in that we're the adults.
Yeah, they're the adults. And Russ and I are the fun children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. So I see. Surreptitiously, if that's
Captain
the right word.
Kyraxis was here, he'd agree with me.
Us being the adults of the group
I know he'd
also
agree.
means that we are the
Boring.
the boring,
Yeah, like,
least fun, most unwelcome members of the group
so
at the same time.
boring. Like, who wants adults? It's like,
I see how it is.
oh my goodness, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to also share the stream out. This doesn't count because it's egregious otherwise.
Oh, get ready for it, guys. We got to thank everyone who shares, including ourselves.
Why aren't you sharing it out?
Well, I'll do it. How about?
Do you not like our stream?
No, I do. How about I do it when we're not live?
No, because the idea is to get people to come and join us live, but you know
They
what? You
will.
just
I'm
wanna
going to do it
slack off.
when the
You just
intro's
wanna-
going.
You just want the glory.
No.
You just want the
See,
glamour,
I'll
the
do it
fame.
when the intro's going, so I can keep
And
talking to
none
you.
of the
Oh my
work.
God, Brad! Thank you so much for the share.
No problem. These guys are my favorite. This is my favorite show. that's me watching Twitch.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love these guys.
It's nice. Oh, our countdown is gone.
So
And
if
by
you ever
gone,
see
I
me
mean
in your
over.
chat, that's what I'm doing out there. That's
That
like,
guy's
oh my
always
God.
here.
All right. That guy's always here. This guy. What's this all about? All right, let's get Friday morning started right now.
Do it.
Oh my goodness. It's just, I can never do everything right. It's just I can't. I just
Don't worry,
give
you
up.
anything miss anything.
Sing a song
that's
for
all
your
you
sick
miss.
boy. There you go. Polly is under the weather, but
Aw, really?
fighting hard to get back on top. It's good to see you back in chat, Polly. Of course, take care of yourself. I hope I didn't guilt you.
Oh,
into
Vashi
it,
said this is the first time he caught that new intro.
Oh, really? That's the first time you saw that, Vashu. Yeah. We have new intros for all the shows. I appreciate it. Polly, hope you're feeling good soon or better today and the best very soon.
You know,
I know that's no fun, especially now. Like, you know, when you get sick, we have to remember that normal sick happens, right? Like normal sick happens. But whenever we get sick now, like what's the first thing that you go to, right? Like what's the process, right? You're like, what the fuck?
how rude. How rude of the Book of Faces.
The Book of Faces.
You know
did
why? It
Why?
didn't show me. It didn't show that I shared it.
Wow.
How rude. Isn't that rude?
Inconceivable.
It only
Did you just do it?
Not just enough that it should be
Inconceivable.
there already.
Well, we'll have to see.
Well, or not.
Better today, eyeing Monday. Did you share it as public? Or did you just share it to your friends?
I shared it.
Does
it matter?
Yeah. That's not supposed to be up there. Get out of there. What are you doing there? What is this life? There we go. It's not time for you yet, nerdity warning. Vashu, have you seen the little interstitials? Kim, good morning. Watching while in between calls. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Glad to have you on board. Working hard this morning, I'm sure. Thank you very much for the like, Kim. A pleasure to have you, as always, of course. My monitor is screwed, and I'll tell you why. Because that door is closed, and the Wi-Fi is...
Do you want me to open it slightly?
No.
I don't mind.
No, let's just do that from now on, though, because that can't be closed, unfortunately.
I'm going to just open it.
We don't have to right now.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to leave.
Okay.
I'm scared. I'm scared to do it by myself. I'm scared to be on my own.
Oh.
The green's looking good on the hair. Oh my god, dude. I was talking about this the other day, how this is charcoal black. And I'm on the job hunt right now. So I'm like, if I have to do like a Zoom interview, am I gonna have to explain this every time?
No, we'll dye it before then.
Okay, good. Boo
Kim, thank
earns.
you for the share as well.
Yes, thank you for sharing the stream out, helping us get the word out. Much appreciated, Kim. Amazing.
It's supposed to be charcoal gray,
It's supposed
not
to be
black.
Oh my god. When it kind of worked that one time at the very beginning,
For like
it was
a hot second.
For a hot second, it was like very dark. It was almost black. Like it was a nice natural black.
Are you sure? Well, that is what the bottle said.
And like I said, I don't hate it. Like right now, it's a lot more blonde than it was at first too. Like it was green. It was like teal.
Yeah, it was teal.
Teal.
You know, it's funny.
When you put it on, it was like black.
Yeah, it's funny because like COVID hair don't care.
COVID hair don't care. Hopefully, prospective employers,
Well,
if
I
they're
said
watching,
for a while,
will
I said
also not care.
I said we were doing our colors because like I'm pink
Yeah.
and he's the like blue. And
Yeah.
for a while it was blue. So I just said,
Yeah.
we're just sticking with our like personas.
Were you here when I was talking about that, Polly? How like the biggest problem? I didn't really care about that. What bothered me was that the green screen when I was streaming, 7 out of 8 streams I use a green screen and it was cropping my hair out.
Yeah,
Like,
it made your luscious
it was
locks
like
look
showing.
thin.
You'd see like Call of Duty or GTA 5 through my hair.
And you know what? There's
My
nothing.
luscious locks look.
Yeah,
thin,
there's nothing more that.
That's what it was.
And there's
That's
nothing
what bothered me
more
than anything.
what bothers Brad than if his hair is bad.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie.
It's true.
Something screws with my hair, and like the
Like,
rest
don't touch-
of my week is ruined.
Don't touch Brad's hair.
Anyone,
actually
even
how
people I
we
went to
fell
high
in
school
love.
with. People I went to high school with will attest to that.
Yep. They'll joke like, "Oh, is Brad late because he's doing his
ongoing,
hair?"
Ongoing. Still, like from high school.
Yeah,
I still get razzed by my OG buds.
you do.
Like I was saying, Erendur.
Erendur.
I hate you so much. I'm on a massive COD kick right now. I don't know if you caught any of this, but I was streaming Call of Duty on Squad all week this week. I did 4 days straight, 3 hours a day, called the Call of Duty Boot Camp. And it went gong show. Like I had between 500 and 600 viewers per stream, and the VODs have now broken like over 64,000 views. It went crazy, and I actually got pretty good. And we started rocking some duos, trios, and I was super enjoying it. Good morning, Russ. Hello,
Hi, Russ.
hello. I agree. Never touch Brad's hair. See, people
See,
that
he
are
knows.
in the know.
Actually,
Know it
Russ
well.
is who we were talking about earlier.
We were
in
talking
the best
about
ways.
you
We were
earlier.
talking about how
All good
Brad
things, of course.
and Meg are so similar, and the adults of the group, and you and I are the fun-loving children.
Yeah. The key there is the inference that because Meg and I are more adult-like and responsible, that we are also the least fun of the group.
Well, let's be clear.
But
Russ
this
and
sucks
I,
because only you and Russ are here now,
Russ
and
and
Meg's
I
not here.
are the
Russ,
most
get
fun.
Meg. Get Meg in here. I need help. I'm calling for backup. Jeeves, we need to get a duo going for sure, Erendur. And gang, jump on Discord if you haven't already. Eren, are you on Discord? I mean, I'll find you either way. You don't have to be, but we should definitely hit that up. I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty now, so. And Russ, you know all about this as well. Russ, you should get in there too, because we actually have a pretty good community growing around Call of Duty right now. Lots of people looking for teams. Ampot, Scarshag, Vegas, myself, Aaron, Russ. We got to get Marky and the D Factor in there too.
Oh,
Get
hello,
Dylan and Mark in there
We
as well. 'cause
are
we got,
the
we got
funnest.
crews running all the time. And this Monday, we're actually doing community game night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. BazNBigly community game night is Call of Duty. So you should hit that ish. Let's get in there.
I think
Speaking of getting in there, shall we get this
we do. We have some
train
news to
out the
cover.
station? We got some news. We have good news. Goes like this. It's so funny.
It's
I
so
don't know
funny.
what.
They're so funny.
It's so funny.
Pippin, it's so funny, Pippin.
I love it. I love it. All right, kicking off. Pippin, stop it. Get out of here.
Yay,
It's like,
kitty, right? Everyone, yay, kitty.
Get out of here.
It's Pippin the kitten,
I didn't mean
and
that,
he is a
Pippin.
kitten, and
You're what
he
the
is
people
doing
really
a
come
dance on the stream. He loves it.
That's a really good song. We're starting off with you today.
Yeah, we are.
A little
That's-
segment that we've coined Gorilla Glue. Bigly, take it away.
That's right. Okay. So, I don't know if you've heard about this girl. Her name is Tessica. You did not hear me wrong. Tessica Brown. And she posted this TikTok, the one you can see below. And she was looking to do a sleek ponytail. Now, typically, how do you get a sleek ponytail?
I'm
You
totally
don't
I have
know.
no idea.
You would use hairspray, right? You slick it down and everything, make it look nice and flat. So she ran out of hairspray. So now this is where I get confused. I'm not sure if she just... It's a Gorilla Glue spray. And for those of you who don't know what Gorilla Glue is, it's like... It's really insane crazy glue. Like, we've used it before. I've gotten a tiny bit like on my pinky finger, and my pinky finger, it won't come off, and like was numb for like a week.
It's still there.
It was for a long time though. Like, I could feel it like on my finger for like weeks and weeks after. So it's serious. So basically, they have this like, sorry. They have.
Focus, Bigly.
I know.
Let's go.
I know.
Let's go. All right.
Okay.
It's like gamer. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Relax.
So
Please continue. Wow.
So basically what she did was she reached for a bottle of this Gorilla Glue, and it was like a spray. And I don't know if she thought it was hairspray. By the sounds of it, from what I've heard her speaking, she didn't think it was. Like, she didn't think, hey, this is hairspray, I'm going to use it on my hair. Like, she knew it was Gorilla Glue spray and used it on her hair. On purpose.
Yep.
So anyway, she must have used a lot of it. Like, you could see in those videos how like slicked down her hair was.
Yep. And it's like hard. It's
And
like,
so like, she's like, it's been like this for like a month basically. And then she did a follow-up video and was like, I've tried, like, look. She's like hitting it and it's like solid. And then she's like, watch. And she does another video and she puts like shampoo in and rubs it and literally just wipes it off with a towel.
That's terrifying.
It is. So there was like a lot of people giving her like advice what to do, and she was trying stuff and nothing was working. So eventually what ended up happening was she did end up going to the hospital. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And they gave her some things, and eventually a plastic surgeon ended up doing a surgery for her to get her hair back for free.
Yeah.
For free. And it worked. Now, that she's saying like people don't take any personal responsibility anymore. Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
this is the
head
this
don't
is the
move.
thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Is it shitty what happened? Yeah, it is. I wouldn't want anyone. They're saying she's really lucky she didn't have any like really bad scalp damage or chemical damage to her hair because of what the product's made out of.
Yep.
And Gorilla Glue issued a statement saying like they're sorry what happened, but like it says on the
It
label.
is, yeah, it's
pretty clear.
We have to draw the line. Let's be honest. Like,
Yes.
I want to take the people out of this because
Yes.
It's awful. And as I was watching this,
yeah.
I think our first instinct is to be like, how stupid
Yes,
you have to be, like so dumb.
absolutely.
But then you're watching it. I did end up feeling like more than anything really bad for us. Like, oh God, that's terrible. And we've all done stupid things in our lives, right? But we do have to draw the line somewhere. Like, you have taken an industrial construction glue product, adhesive, and used it on your hair. Like, that's insane. Like, you can't You just can't. And we have to draw the line
Yeah.
somewhere, or we are going to make society so like
Well, this is
dumbed
the
down
thing.
and foolproof that we're not going to have anything. So where do we draw the line,
Yeah.
right? Like people can't use metal utensils anymore because somebody just like jabbed a fork in their eye.
Well-
So let's go after the fork company.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
like
look,
let's
here's the
never
thing.
hold the human accountable.
Yeah, here's the thing, right?
That's silliness.
At first, I thought maybe it was like why Gorilla Glue would be next to your hairspray in your bathroom doesn't make sense to me either.
No, I thought she went and got it it in a process. I don't think it was just sitting there. Was it,
No,
next to
no,
her
she
hairspray?
had it at home.
Like if she had soap in her
No,
eyes and she accidentally grabbed the Gorilla
the
Glue,
whole
that would be
idea was
different.
she was at home, ran out of hairspray, and used this instead.
Yeah, like yeah.
It's not like if she went to the store,
There's a
grabbed
good chance that Gorilla Glue was like in the garage or something,
right?
or like
no, so
where
like,
the other construction
she
things are.
decided that it would make a good replacement for hairspray. That was her decision, right? And obviously, it was not a great decision.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Great, I'm glad they got it sorted out for her. I'm glad she's not like hurt. You know, I'm glad she's like not
Of
going
course,
to have
of
like
course.
head damage and like that sort of thing. But at the same time, a lot of people were like, Gorilla Glue should do more for her. And I'm like, no, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. She should just not be
like,
using
here's the
industrial
thing.
construction products on
we
your
can't,
head.
we can't also like, we can't make it okay for people who do dumb things
It's
that they're going to get rewarded for it, basically.
This sets precedent after precedent after precedent, and we are slowly encouraging and manufacturing the stupefaction of our society. Right? Like if we continue to go down this path, we're going to be cutting the corners off of everything, and we have to draw the line somewhere. And that's this whole thing, like going after a company. Like nobody had a problem with Gorilla Glue when it gave you an easy solution to glue two tiles together and fix your sink. People are like, oh, that's amazing. A big part of the problem here is simply this, and I've been saying this for a while, like the way that social media and popular media and mass media has gone now, this stuff has always happened. We just know about more of it. It's as simple as that. We're just more aware of it. And those folks who want to are looking for any reason to get on a soapbox, rally against something, and just be angry about things. And they are the most vocal group out of all of them. So look, I guarantee you, like anything, the whole hoopla over, and companies are starting to realize this too. Cancel culture, all that like toxic shit. Companies are starting to understand that, you know what? Those types of voices get bored very easily.
No.
So if you just let them run it
Yeah.
out, they'll go away and you can go on about your business, because they do. They'll move on to the next thing to be angry about.
There wasn't
and that's
really
a terrible way to exist.
No, it's true. There wasn't really a lot of cancel culture around this.
Well, I mean, it's
like,
very
people-
there's a very fine line between the whole like Gorilla Glue should do something, like what more is Gorilla Glue gonna,
Right.
Because the inference then is if they don't ...
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, and here's where I run into it. You know, like, they gave her free surgery to
Yep.
do that for her.
And in the
How
States,
many? Yeah, and in the States.
that's probably pretty
How-
pricey.
Because of
big
something,
ticket, right?
let's be clear, because of something dumb she did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She did a dumb thing.
If you
Now,
like, what
like,
about the
think of
rest of
all
us
the-
who do? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
I'm sorry.
topic.
Yeah, I'm getting fired up. Michael, good morning. Yeah.
Imagine like you're someone who really needs a surgery and you can't afford it, and then this girl gets a free surgery to get her hair back
Yeah.
from being glued down. That'd be pretty
Yep.
frustrating. So like I don't think
you better go take care
Wait.
of everyone who has like
Wait.
incurable
Hey.
terminal
Hey,
illnesses.
I wasn't
that
done
are-
my
I know, but
sentence.
I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry, yeah.
you're getting so it's cool. It's fine. It's my topic. It's my
I'm
topic.
cool, man.
Let me talk now, and then you can talk after. Okay.
Okay.
Claire.
Yes, dear.
So basically, the whole thing is, I don't feel like people should be on her anymore. Like, get off her case, whatever. Yeah, she did a dumb
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I also don't think we should continue to reward people for doing dumb things.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of people saying like, well, you're not rewarding her because she was in pain and it was really bad what happened. And it's like, no, but like they still gave her stuff. They still gave her a free surgery. That's a reward for something dumb that you did.
Yeah.
You know? And like how many other
did it
people
to
do dumb things a
yourself.
day and like have to live with their mistakes?
Yeah.
Right?
Imagine.
She only got a free
Imagine
surgery
holding
because
people accountable.
she went viral. You know, I think summing it up is, if she had accidentally used it, thinking that like it was close to something and it was like an honest mistake. And she's like, shit. Oh my God. What have I just put in my hair? But it wasn't. It was like this is going to look so good.
It says,
and then was like,
do not use on skin.
And then
or
Polyhedra said,
eyes.
stop mansplaining Bigly's topic, Brad.
I do not think
Cancel
that word
Baz.
means what you think it means.
Cancel Baz. But like, imagine, right?
I'll be back tomorrow.
And then she's like, wow, look at how smooth this is. And then like goes and tries to wash it out. And it's like, oh no. Like, and then what did she not like look at the bottle at all? Like,
well, because society is learning that they don't have to be accountable.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, well, I can do this, and if it gets screwed up, someone else will.
I don't think that was the case with this girl.
No, but I mean that's an extreme. Like I said,
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
Am I able to respond now? Is it
in a minute?
Okay.
I don't think that was the case for her. Like she wasn't like, I'm going to do this and then get rewarded for a stupid decision.
I know that's not what I'm saying.
No.
Sorry, continue. You said I wasn't allowed to
Go
respond.
ahead.
So, no, like I can't half respond and then you respond to my half response. I'll stop and you finish. I thought we were discussing it.
We were. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is the thing though, you just can't allow people, you can't absolve people of accountability because that sets a trend that is going to take us to a very troubling place, right? Now think of like what I was going to say is, okay, if you're going to, if you're going to spog his ass, stop your nonsense, Skep. If you're going to allow people to do that, then what about folks who can't afford surgeries that are life-saving, right? That's not their fault either. They are right. Like, if you're gonna donate surgery to do something for somebody who's done something like that, what about all the other people in the US particularly
That's what I said
who are
before.
waiting for life-saving surgery because they can't afford it?
Yeah.
Right? That's the point I was going to make as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
rappers in Texas coming up later.
That's
coming
what
up later,
that's what I
Sketchy.
talked about. That's what I was saying. I said that before, right? It's just that like I feel like if we're gonna give away free surgeries, let's give it away to like instead of saving hair, maybe save a life.
For some, like you said, it's accountability at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
Vashi says we need a debate moderator. Okay, you get 15 seconds for a response.
Wrong.
She's probably just not that smart, honestly, or been watching too many life tags. And look, here's the thing. I think that is the case. And look, there's nothing wrong with like maybe she isn't. Like I watched a few of her videos. I think she's just pretty simple and a girl who is just like living her best life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like we want to take like the people out of it,
No,
right?
exactly.
Because that's not.
But yeah, no, it's interesting though. Those life hack videos, there are lots of them, and there's really some of them are terrible.
Yeah.
It's like the guy on TikTok who watches tricks and trips and like life hack stuff. And some of them are like just laughable.
Silly.
Just ridiculous. Like, oh, here, like one of them, I don't remember what it was. It was like make a spoon basically to eat something with. And then he's like, or just get a spoon.
Yeah.
Like,
just use a spoon. That's true. Like there's so many different, I guess, and conflicting informations out there about it. It's a lot. There's a lot of bad ideas. Absolutely. Like you can just thank you very much for liking the stream. See, I knew you didn't really think we're ass. Appreciate it. Thanks and welcome. I think that's just it though, right? Like we have to be accountable, and we're teaching our global society that we don't have to be accountable anymore. There will always be someone else to blame other than ourselves. And that is a dangerous, dangerous path. So yeah, some life hack videos are actually downright dangerous. Absolutely. And you can't self-diagnose. You can't Dr. Google things. You have to take all that stuff with a grain of salt, right? Like if there's a life hack of how to kind of like, I don't know, what's a good life hack? Like use it. I don't know any because I guess I don't pay attention to them really. Yeah. Thank you very much, Skep. Appreciate that.
So I think what we can learn from this is I'm glad that she is fixed and hopefully she will learn from this and read labels from now on.
Yeah, and let's be honest, for that surgeon, I guarantee you no surgeon in the US is just going to donate their time that way. They know damn well as a marketer, I will say, like that is going to be a massive publicity opportunity for them, and it probably will be.
Well, and also let's keep in mind It was a plastic surgeon who did it.
Yep.
Now, not to say there are lots of plastic surgeons who do amazing work, but I think they were in LA, and I'm not exactly sure what type of plastic surgeon it was. A lot of plastic surgeons there are for beautification.
Well, yeah.
And I will tell you this, because when I was in LA, the amount of like places I saw, if you're just driving down like the main strip area in downtown LA, and some of the more like wealthy areas, it's insane the amount of like plastic surgery places that there just are boutique places.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Saying that
plastic surgery in the U.S. is a very different beast,
well,
and
especially
in LA,
LA,
it's a completely different beast. Again, it's true. Like if you read your local paper, even if you have like community papers, like here we have, Now or Snap or anything like that. In LA, this is and I'm talking from like 10 years ago in LA, so I'm sure it's only gotten more aggressive. But you flip through those papers and there are entire pages dedicated to like plastic surgery, like get your boobs done, like nose jobs, 50% off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It is there. It is a mass market there to the point where it's like there's a discount version. There are boutique plastic surgeons. There are like accessible like payment plan type. It's like buying a cell phone in LA.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. It's and I mean that in itself is not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of people need that to improve their lives or will rely on that to really make tangible difference in their lives and make them more comfortable with themselves, more confident, yada. That's all good.
Exactly.
But the point we're making is that it's a very different industry down there.
Yes.
So that like it's not hard for me to believe at all that this is an opportunity that a plastic surgeon saw to see like, let's get in on this.
I can fix your hair.
Yeah, and if you look at the video, let's be honest, I'm not a plastic surgeon. I don't profess to be, but I know a little bit about it, probably the same stuff that we all do. They use like a medical grade, diffuser's not the right word, but like
I didn't actually see
solution,
that part of the
basically.
video.
It was a medical grade wash. That's all. And I was looking at this. I'm like, that's really interesting because they had her hooked up, tubes, anesthesia, everything, and then solvent. Thank you, like a solvent to basically break down the adhesive, and they just washed her hair in it. And it was a combination of that medical grade solvent, aloe, and like rosemary. There were like 3 natural herbs and 1 medical grade solvent to dilute it, and they just washed her hair in it. So like that doesn't sound like it needed a plastic surgeon. That sounded like it needed access to that medical grade solution, right? Like, because ultimately that was the catalyst, right?
I guess so.
Now I'm sure treatments. I'm not saying that like anybody could have done it, but point I'm making is like I'm pretty sure there was a big win there for the plastic
I think there was a
surgeon
lot of things saying like if
time.
she had done it at home, she probably would have pulled out or lost most of her hair.
No, yeah, I'm not suggesting she should have done it at home. Point I'm making is like, was it really a plastic surgery process, or was it just like, hey, we have the access and the ability to do this, and this guy jumped on it and was like, hey,
maybe
we're gonna do that. So if you watch the video, I mean, be informed. That's all I'm saying. It's a tricky subject too, because like we're not out to offend anybody, but we are here to cover things that are trending, and it is lighthearted. I mean, it's a happy ending story. I really did feel for her. Like the worst part is like what she did was really dumb. We all know that. I'm sure she's heard enough about it to the point where you watch her being interviewed. She's like, I see Tessica in the mirror, and she pauses that other girl because she can't say it. Now imagine you do something online, you're framed up in the global community for it, to the point where you become known as like something girl, or like,
right? Gorilla. It's
so
gorilla,
so that's
whatever they were calling her.
She can't even say it, because imagine now your life becomes, every time you open your Twitter, like most of us have the luxury of anonymity still, right?
Yes.
We're online, we're streaming, we accept that, there's a certain amount of that we expose ourselves to. But most of us can open Facebook, we can open Twitter, and we get to read about people like this. We don't have to be that person. She had to be that person, and probably will for a while, because that shit doesn't go away.
Not very
That's what
quickly.
I feel really badly for her on, because like society will forget cancel culture very quickly, but we won't forget memes very quickly. Like that shit sticks around for a long time, and I feel for her in that regard. Like, she can't even say it, and you can see her tear up when she starts to think about like what she's become on the internet, and that's not the kind of fame that a lot of people look for.
No, definitely.
So kudos to her for that. Big ups to the surgeon who did step in for doing it and getting her out of that mess, and hopefully like in a shorter period of time she can get back to a regular life.
Because, exactly.
Thanks Pippin and a butthole cameo from Pippin. So. But a good news story and a happy story at the end, and that's why we showcase it here. So it sucks when your 15 minutes is a nightmare.
Yeah,
exactly. Like we all play in social media to a certain extent. Not everybody wants that grandiose fame, but like it's nice. Who doesn't get excited when a tweet you sent out blows up, right? Now imagine if it blows up in horribly the wrong way. A lot of people don't know how to deal with that. It's not natural to us. It's natural to us to want the limelight. It's not natural to us to know how to deal with a shitstorm or a dumpster fire.
Yep.
I've done that on behalf of global companies for a long time. Like I've worked in reputation management. I've worked in crisis mitigation. I've worked in social media moderation for a long time. And it's extremely stressful. And there's a very careful, artistic way to go about doing it properly. And people don't just have that knowledge. So it can be extremely, a big panic. It can be pretty bad. So hopefully it doesn't have a long tail for her and she can get back to her normal life. But, she might take a spot on Fallon too, right? So she could end up on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She's got free plastic surgery out of it. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think we can call it free plastic surgery.
I think we're...
But
we
so we'll see. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along to some other fare. I am going to talk a little bit about Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, and Wayne's World coming back to the front line. Yes, as of a Super Bowl last week. It was last week, right? Last Sunday. I don't know who here grew up with like Wayne's World on Saturday Night Live. Like that was, I remember my cousin and I used to sleep over at my grandmother's place. We'd watch SNL. I would always hope. You never knew when Wayne's World was going to be on. It was like a bit of a crapshoot. But when Wayne's World would come up, like I got fired up. I absolutely loved Wayne's World. You remember a little song called Bohemian Rhapsody by a band called Queen? They pretty much were the reason. The Wayne's World movie was the reason why Queen came back to the limelight later in life. And just there's a lot of really great things. You're gonna spew in this little cup. I love Wayne's World. Like those of us of a particular generation can still quote things from Wayne's World. Well, Uber Eats has tagged Myers and Dana Carvey to come back and reprise their roles as Wayne and Garth. Yeah, that's right. To come back and do this commercial. It was actually a series of clips and shorts. What we saw in Super Bowl is kind of like the full Uber Eats commercial. It stars a popular hip hop artist, and like Cardi B is a cameo in it. They have like a whole bunch of
okay, go on.
They and they have now who's interrupting whose news segment. But
you
I
did
don't
it
mind.
to me, I'll do it to you.
I'm a lot more chill about it.
Oh,
now who's the fun grown up? Who's the fun parent, Russ?
No.
We have it was really great to see them, and I got the same amount of excited all over again to see Garth and Wayne together on the couch, the Cable 10 local news network. And so they were talking on Jimmy Fallon. They were interviewed, and they talked a little bit about how Uber Eats approached them for it. Thought it was a good idea. They talked about it, and they were really excited. It was cool to see, first of all, a Canadian boy like Mike Myers and Dana Carvey kind of talking gloves off like real people about how excited they were to just work with another comedian again, because they said for a long time, because of the pandemic and what we're all kind of working with or towards or against or whatever you want to look at it, they haven't had that opportunity to like riff off another community or exercise those muscles, and comedians need that too, right? So it goes a little dormant. So for those two especially to get together again, to have that opportunity to interact again, I think was pretty special. It was cool to hear them talk about it. Did you ever watch like Wayne's World, or was
I watched
too early for you?
No. So I didn't.
I mean,
really,
early in years, not early in the night.
I don't. I remember the movies more than the Saturday Night Live thing. I honestly, like when I first saw the movie, I didn't know it was based off of the SNL skit.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
like the movies to me were the first kind of like introduction to them, because I think it would have been like what, like late 80s, early 90s.
No, yeah, it was like early 90s.
Right. So like I wasn't really watching SNL because I was young, so I was a little like
that
old
makes
enough
sense.
to watch it. But the movie I watched, because like the movie was like not SNL. You don't know what's gonna happen on a skit on SNL. Like the movie wasn't rated like anything super crazy, I don't think. And it was the 90s, so everyone watched everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw the commercials live because when I was watching the Super Bowl, I saw them and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was also like Mike Myers looks pretty much the same. Dana Carvey's aged a little bit more than Mike Myers has.
Yeah, that's fair. But it kind of works. I was thinking the same thing as watching. Like, okay, you can see the ears. I mean, that's real, right? Like our favorite celebrities aren't just frozen in time. But it kind of worked because it looked like Wayne and Garth were still in the basement the whole time, and like now they're in their 50s and they're still doing this show in the basement. Funny. It was kind of like poetic in that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them on SNL in the near future,
like as a guest.
That'd
be great. And also, like Mike Myers, it's great. Like he's Canadian, so like obviously,
no fear.
Funny fact: my aunt worked with his brother for years.
Yeah. And yes, that's right.
My aunt worked with Mike Myers'
he also
brother. Knew him very well.
He also shouted out Scarborough, where he's from, in the east side of Toronto. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Toronto East. Scarborough shouted out in the Uber Eats.
That's great. That's hilarious. Wow, lots of Scarborough love.
Yeah, lots of Scarborough love going on.
The Weeknd and
The Weeknd. Homegrown boy from Scarborough. Bottom now we hear. Mike Myers, same thing. Like grew up through Scarborough.
Drake isn't from Scarborough.
Drake, who lived a rough life in Rose.
Yeah, he's like from Rosedale. It's like a super rich area,
multi-millionaire area, right? So
don't forget Drake started
from the bottom. I always joke, I'm like, Drake's tagline is not like started from the bottom, now we're here. It's like started from the upper high class, now I'm still.
Well, that's why the joke was started on Degrassi.
Yeah, that's right. Started on Degrassi. Now. Started as a Canadian household name. Now I'm more of a Canadian household name. Tough go.
It's true.
Yeah, if it was Gorilla Glue, it should have been a vet.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
Nice. So Vashi had a major dox at one point. Just to clarify, dox means when somebody basically like ousts you and posts your public information on the internet. It's happened to me before too, Vashi, when I was working for one of those big global brands. It's pretty scary. Fortunately, the worst that I had of it was like a couple of 4 a.m. phone calls, and just like there was a week of just getting random spam calls and stuff like that. One of my colleagues though had like pizzas sent to his house because they got his actual address and where he lives in his condo, and they were just sending shit to his house and stuff like that. It was it's scary. It's scary. That's what happens. That's the environment though. Vegas, it's like a new pair of underwear. At first they're restrictive, but then after a while they become a part of you. Sounds like a you problem, Vegas. You mean Johnny? I don't remember what I was referencing when that came through. You mean Johnny? Who's Johnny?
I don't know. We were talking about Wayne's World at the time when I saw it come up, but I don't remember.
Maybe I do mean Johnny. Vegas, you'll have to tell me what I meant. I don't recall.
I know, but yeah.
Speaking of aging gracefully, it's a Garth quote.
It is.
Oh,
I don't remember it.
Oh man, that's a deep cut. But I appreciate that you're there with me.
Yeah.
On this trip down memory lane. Yeah, and I loved it. I grew up with Wayne's World. I've always loved them and been a big fan. I meant to say Jimmy from Degrassi.
Is that who his character's name was?
Oh, is that
I don't remember his character's name.
Who Drake was?
I watched it. It was on The Next Generation. He's the one who gets shot.
I didn't. See, my Degrassi was like Snake, Wheels.
No, he gets shot and ends up in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Captain Crazy. Hello and welcome. Happy Friday to you. Yeah, Degrassi, like all jokes aside, Degrassi. And hey, look, no, I love Drake. I do. I really enjoy his music.
Me too.
I love what he's done for Canada. I love what he's done for Toronto. Like, I'm not taking anything from that guy. I think he's great. I just think the whole started from the bottom, now we're here thing. I was like, dude,
I know.
You were born rich, dude. Like, you're okay, guy. But I mean, like, I get it. It's the art too. I mean, like, I played a steelworker. I'm not a steelworker. It's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's such a weird reference.
Yeah,
anyway.
that was. I was like, are you referencing Full Monty
right
now?
Full Monty.
Oh my God. Wow.
It was a Full Monty musical. What I should have said, I played a stripper. I'm not a stripper. I don't know why I went steelworker. I played a steelworker in a musical.
It's like, what?
No, like
Russ,
clearly...
are you still here? I really hope you just heard that.
Clearly, the most important part of that reference is I played a stripper.
For one night only. Actually, that's a lie. 8 shows.
8 shows, yeah.
Naked on stage.
It was a good
naked
run.
On stage.
It was a
Brad
good old
got
run.
naked on stage.
I did. I dropped it all. I dropped it all. Let's move on quickly. Bigly, this one's yours as well. We're talking about a Super Nintendo World and Miyamoto. This is hilarious. I love this video.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Super Nintendo World in Universal Japan opened February 4th finally. So I watched a bunch of it. There is going to be one opening at Universal Studios here in California. I mean, in Florida as well, but not until 2023, they said.
Yeah.
So that one's still for a few years away. So obviously people are super hyped about it. I've watched on YouTube some people going to the park. I watched like a full, like almost hour-long video of them going through. And it looks so cool. There aren't a ton of rides yet. They have a Mario Kart ride, which they couldn't really show us. Like, I saw a little bit of it, and I was very confused because it's like it's like a visor thing, and it's like animated as you're going through the ride, which is cool. I saw someone try to film one that showed it, but it looked wrong. Like it didn't. I'm like, if that's what it is, I'm not super impressed. So I don't think it like translated as well through a video. Yeah. But like the lineups, like I don't know if you've ever been to like Disney World or Universal or anything like that. Because the queues, all the lineups for them, they're super amazing too. Like there's stuff everywhere. So even like in the lineup to get to the loading area of the Mario Kart ride, it's like you're going through different areas. There's like a Bowser room. There's like a Peach area. There's like a library with like all these hidden like Easter eggs from like all like Super Nintendo and different games. And it's so cool. And like the whole area looks cool. So you can buy these power-up bands. And they're all different. Have you see about these?
Yeah.
So like cool. You can get Toad, you can get Yoshi, Peach, and they interact with the everywhere. Like there's certain things you could get coins and stuff, and there's an app you can get for free. And like there's teams. So if you got like the Toad one or the Peach one, you're on Team Peach or you're on Team Mario or Team Yoshi, and then it shows how many coins each team has, and they do different things. So like you can go and you like put your arm under it, and it like either blocks happen or things come out, and it's like so interactive. Cool. Yeah. So there's ways to make you feel like you're in the game, basically.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And then they have a Yoshi ride as well, and that looks like it's more like you sit in a giant Yoshi and it goes around, and it's more like a pretty, like you're watching things. Like there's certain rides at Disney World, they're not like adventure rides. It's more like there's animatronics and things like that, and that's what the Yoshi ride is like. And it looks super cute, and I love Yoshi. Yeah. I think those are the only rides they have right now. I think they're going to be doing a Bowser one. I think they're going to be adding something, as most of these parks do. Like they open with certain number, and then new ones get added typically later on. The food looks pretty cool too. Like everything's themed. Like these parks, Universal, course, Disney, all these places, like Harry
and
Potter
in Japan,
World.
like they're gonna do it right.
Well,
like,
everywhere they do. Keep this in mind, right? So like all these theme parks, always their themed drinks, their themed foods, everything. Like even I remember going to Disney World. If you go to a restaurant that's a themed restaurant, which they all are, for anything, all the menu, all the food, everything is themed from that. So all the food is like, they have like a like pizza pocket thing, but it's like Toad.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So like the bowl part is like the face of like the mushroom. Yeah. And then like it's like this huge pizza hat of the mushroom hat. And it's so cute.
Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry for pizza.
And they have some really cool looking food and drinks and things like that, which I always like. I'm a big sucker for those at like theme parks and things. I'm like, get me all the themed shit. Get me, like when I was in Disney World, I'm like, I want Mickey Mouse waffles. I want everything to look like freaking Mickey Mouse. We went to the Lady and the Tramp like restaurant, like Louis from like the movie, and I'm like, I want spaghetti and meatballs because that's what's in the damn movie.
It's funny, yeah. It's totally a thing. I mean, it's subconscious. Like it's almost Inception.
It's like Star Wars, right?
Yeah, totally. The
Galaxy's Edge, right? Yeah, all the food and drink are themed there too. And like, give it to me. I want the most themed. Give me the Banta bantha
the
hot
blue
dog
milk. Yeah, and the
thing,
blue
right?
milk,
The blue milk, all of it. Give that to me,
I mean,
right?
You have to, right? Like, you're not getting, you don't, it's all about immersion
Yes.
ultimately, right? Like, you don't want to be in this, first of all, what a time to be alive when we have like the ability to create life-size scale experiences of these fantasy worlds.
Like imagine.
But you don't want to walk into like the cantina on Tatooine and get like a Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's
exactly.
It
So
doesn't
like
even
the
you're just like, oh,
Super
it's like a slap in the
Nintendo
face,
world.
right?
Right now, obviously, they're running at like less capacity because of COVID and everything
course,
like that, and all the protocols are in place. So like the lineups are really short right now. So you can basically like, I was watching these guys go through lines. I'm like, oh my god, there's no one in line. Like this is a dream. Obviously, like masks. Everyone has to wear masks throughout the whole thing and everything like that. But like, it looks like they're doing a good job of it. It looks like, I don't know. I think Japan's doing pretty well in general right now.
Yeah, I
now
think they're at least on a better trajectory.
Yeah. So it looked very cool. Like there's no 6 feet apart thing.
I didn't know.
So
that.
I think they're doing pretty good.
I didn't know they were beyond that.
Well, yeah. Well, at least from what I was watching, there definitely wasn't.
So you can actually go to Super Nintendo World and escape COVID.
Yeah, you can go with your friends. I know. Aww.
I can't wait to go. Like, I just, the fact that they were able to build, execute on, and launch a massive, huge IP theme park in the middle of a pandemic, I think is pretty, like, that to me is like the essence of perseverance.
Yeah, and people need that right now. People need like a happy place to go.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
true. That's
something
true.
new like that, like Super Nintendo World. That's a happy place to go right now, right? You go in and you're not in your world anymore. You're in a game.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. And it looks
they
like
do a good job of
the
the
way
immersion,
and the way they've made it. Have you seen like the images? Everything is moving. It looks like it's crazy.
You have the little like Koopas crawling along the
it's so cute.
Like the blocks and stuff like that. And yeah, like you're saying with the wristband with this, it's a pretty cool,
it's
like
power
it's not
band,
a flimsy,
called,
the power band. It's not a flimsy, like
it's
cheap, like kitschy looking thing.
It's like a thick plastic.
And
I've
I mean,
seen them use it.
when you're in it, like you subscribe to it if you're into something there. Like if you're going to Super Nintendo World, you kind of subscribe to the kitsch. That's part of the fun, right? But like Miyamoto, who's doing that, who's one of the creators of Nintendo, who's doing one of those things, Miyamoto-san, I should say actually. He like bops a coin block and it goes like a and it sends like the turtle shell up the pipe. It's crazy and it's scale, right? It's amazing. Super NES is your all-time favorite system.
Nice. And it's fun. So you'd probably love it then, you know? Because I'm so cheap, I go to those places and get frustrated having to spend. But here,
dude.
But here's the thing, right? What I always say with those places is like, you have to know going there that you're going to be spending money. Yeah. Right? So if you go in with that mindset, then like to me, I'm like, well, you're going to be spending money. You have to know what you're getting into, right? If you don't want to spend
But I mean, it's like stadium food too, right? Like you go to a Leafs game, you're paying like $13
yes, but
a
also
beer.
we know we're
grinds
doing that.
Me too, but
we know we're doing that. You just go into it. You just do it, right? You don't complain. You have a fucking good time. Yeah. Right? So for me, I'm like, I wouldn't like, you go and you just enjoy it instead of worrying about, oh, this is so expensive. Look at how much this is. Look at how much this is. Right? It's like a holiday too, right?
But it doesn't mean it doesn't go away. Like I'm the same way. I'll go to a Leafs game and all I think about is like that $13 beer until the game starts again and I'm pounding my fourth of them.
But that's what I mean.
And I'm like, whatever, we're in it now.
I promise you, if you're at Disney World, you're not worrying about all the money you're spending. You're just there doing it because. And here's the thing,
I might just be pretending not to worry about it.
No, that's not
true. So that I don't harsh your vibe.
It's like Vegas. You're going to be broke leaving. Here's the thing I'll say with any place you go to, any trip, any place that is like spending money. If you have a budget, you don't worry about that budget that you're spending, right? Because that's what you subscribe to spend.
I think that's the key. It's a real discipline
if you go in,
stick to your budget.
Yeah, if you go in and you're like, hey, I have $2,000 that I'm gonna spend, and then you do that, you're gonna have a fucking great time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to worry about
Or
it.
if you have $20.
But
that
if you
spend.
go in and you have no budget and you just keep spending, then you're going to leave. You're going to be like, oh my God, look at all the money I spent.
Vegas.
Right? But Vegas doesn't have to be that way either. You can, we've done Vegas before.
Yes, but I mean, like, it's, well, that's a whole other conversation, but it's a cash trap too. It's a different, different piece. But no, I hear what you're saying though. I hear what you're saying. That's a big thing for you because I'm almost always broke. That's why I can't go to these sorts of places. No, I know. We can read about them and watch them on the YouTubes anyway. Devil's Wrath, what's going on? How are you, Devils? Good to see you. How's your Friday going? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you over here, dude. Yeah, baby.
But like I would
after
say,
4
yeah,
beer,
who
who
cares?
cares, right? That's kind of where it gets me too. I'm 4 and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like empty pot or like
After 4 beers,
deep pockets
lightweight.
become empty pockets.
Kim, have you had the beers at like a Leafs game or at a hockey game? They're like this big.
also, it's not that it's not that we can't only handle 4 beers. It's just after 4 beers, we stop caring about the $13 price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Vegas, thought I was balling, had a budget of $5,000. That is healthy. Left with a
a
maxed out credit card. Oh no, it's going well, Devils. Good to hear,
that's the hardest part is wet. It's knowing that you have to stop because this
and
is
it
so tricky,
and look,
right?
Vegas
because,
is Vegas is carefully constructed by some of the world's most intelligent minds to extract dollars from people. That is the purpose
right?
of Vegas.
Because here's the thing: you play, you run out, you want to do more, and you're like, oh, just $20 more, and then you're like, oh, just $20 more.
Or like this time I'll
just
double
$20
up. This time I'll double.
I have a pretty good system when we're in Vegas.
We have a pretty good
we
system.
do now because you've developed my system.
We've developed it together.
Okay, I had it before you because
I've only
to
been
Vegas.
there once. Yeah,
I've been there 3 times.
I was there on a work trip.
So again, it was my system, and Brad went with it. Have the budget. If you win, so usually we say this is what we're playing with today. This is the amount we're playing with, right?
Yeah.
We have a separate budget for food and shows and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Don't make that part of your gambling budget.
No, that's right. Or there would be no food or shows.
And then go and play, and then any money you win, put it aside. Right?
Yeah.
And put aside. So what I do is the minute you win money, if you played $20 and you get up to 100, put away $20 right away. Because then
I've gotten a lot better.
Don't
like
play that 20
my,
ever. So
then
then,
my buffer.
if you win a bunch of money and then lose that all, you're still gonna have that $20, and then don't use that. And that's the key. Just then you'll never be down. I've never been down in Vegas. I know that's such a weird thing to say, but it's true.
Steph's top 10 tips on how to guarantee a win in Vegas town in the glamour and glitz.
I'll give trip tips.
Okay. Sounds good. Trip tips.
I'm really good at trips.
Tips. I like it. But for now,
yes,
let us carry on. I want to talk about something a little bit different, but it ties in Disney and all those like fantasy worlds, sort of, kind of. In fact, we're talking a little bit about the confirmed news this week about HBO's The Last of Us 2 series, specifically the casting of Pedro Pascal. I can never get it. Like he makes a point of like pronouncing his name correctly, and you guys know I like to pronounce people's names correctly. But Pascal and Bella Ramsey. Is it Bella Ramsey, right?
I don't know if that's actually her name. Yeah, sure. I always get confused because I think Ramsey, and I'm like, she's a bad guy.
Otherwise known as Lyanna Mormont from Game of Thrones.
I think you're right.
As Ellie.
Yeah.
So huge fan of The Last of Us. Huge fan of Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog. So I was like really pumped to hear that Neil Druckmann was involved.
Yeah, which is always
Neil
a good
Druckmann
idea.
also is the same person who bowed out of the Uncharted series because he didn't like how it was going, didn't feel like it was true to the art that they had created as Naughty Dog Studios. So that to me bodes well for the future
Did he
of
really?
The Last of Us. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
no,
like,
the one with Tom Holland?
Yeah, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do anything. So he kind of bowed out of it, or at least he was in and out. I'm not exactly sure where that went. That's a different story. But what I do know is that Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog are hopelessly devoted to preserving the purity of their franchises. They're the ones who created Uncharted, who created The Last of Us, of course. So I'm really pumped about this. I think there's a lot of really great promise. I think Ramsey is a great choice for Ellie. Everybody calls out her involvement in Game of Thrones, right? That's probably what she's best known for. But we also know her from His Dark Materials, where she plays part of this like almost child cult in a parallel universe.
Not like more of like a kid gang.
In a like a kid gang in a parallel universe, and she's like ruthless.
Yeah, she's also
And
crazy
she's
badass.
she's done an amazing job at it. So between that, Mormont, I think she is perfectly geared to play Ellie. When I was like, how do I feel about this? Pascal, same thing. When I saw Pedro Pascal was, I can't roll my R's as you guys know.
Pedro Pascal.
Thank you. As Joel, I was like, interesting, because as a fandom, or as fans, we always kind of like precast these things in our mind, right? And Nathan Fillion was the popular vote for Drake in Uncharted, and Nolan North was the popular choice for Joel
Like the
in The
actual
Last
guy?
of Us, right? Who actually did like the mocap, but mocap and VO actors don't necessarily always translate to film, right? We can't make that assumption. But there were a number of other like celebrities and film personalities that fans were like, oh, this person would be perfect for Joel. Oh, this person would be perfect for Joel. Yada, yada, yada. So, yeah. And actually they apparently had put an offer out to Michelle Ali as well.
To play Joel?
But he turned it down. No, not for Joel, for another role in the show.
Okay,
but he turned it down. So anyway.
I immediately was
way.
like, oh, would it have been remember in The Last of Us, the first one, there was the dude and his son?
Oh my God,
I
you're
bet
right.
you would
No,
have
his
been.
daughter. It was the guy, the father and his daughter.
No, it was a son.
Anyway.
Wasn't it? It was a little boy.
Because later Ellie, remember, they get separated, and there's a DLC where Ellie and her come together.
No, you're thinking of a different girl.
Maybe. Anyway, that's not my story. This is. So that series is coming to HBO, and I think it's really starting to shape up well. I mean, there was a lot of news around The Mandalorian. This is the one I picked that I think is a little bit more up. And I
More
think,
happy.
And you know what? More importantly, like, let's not take the spotlight from Pedro Pascal, who's doing like amazing things.
Look at the things he's getting casted.
Even in Wonder Woman, he was a standout. He was like one of the good things.
Wait, who was he in Wonder
Woman 84? He plays.
Oh, you mean the one we didn't see? The one that everyone said was really not good.
But apparently he was, so, tied up in it. And I've loved him ever since I saw him as Oberon in Game of Thrones. Like, and that's the best part too. They've worked, they haven't, I don't know if they've worked together, but they work both in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but they
there's
haven't
that kind of like,
scenes
there's
together,
that like so many degrees of separation. I'm really pumped for it. Naughty Dog is an amazing studio. Neil Druckmann is an incredible creator, and The Last of Us 2 is a really amazing story. Now my question is, what are they going to do with it? We met Neil Druckmann.
Yeah,
I was covering a keynote that he gave
for The Last
Toronto
of Us.
for The Last of Us. Yeah, absolutely.
That was sick.
Yeah, and talking about like the writing of the story and how they conceptualize it and things like that. So I actually haven't watched The Mandalorian yet, so Pedro Pascal to me is always going to be the Viper Oberon Martell. Absolutely. I mean, I love The Mandalorian, but like he was so good as Oberon.
Yeah,
I
so
think
good.
Of all the like the unfortunate.
Don't Oberon.
Okay, so like we're okay with Game of Thrones spoiler alerts at this point, right?
That's like season 3.
Yeah,
fine.
When of all of the unfortunate deaths of Game of Thrones, his to me was like the most like
so
painful, because it was like literally and figuratively. Anyway, by AMC, so they have they've got this thing cast, and apparently it's already started in pre-production, so they're moving really quickly, and I'm excited for it. But what are they going to do with it? That's the key for me, right? Like, what, they're not obviously going to just live shoot the video game story.
I have a little bit of an answer for you for this. Okay, great. Because if you look at IMDb and you look at the description, did you see the?
No, I didn't.
So if you look at the description of it, it seems like it's going to cover. So do you remember how like it's going to cover basically the time in The Last of Us that's either from between the first 2 games?
Yeah.
Like in between that time period.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would make sense.
Or it also says it could, or it's like from the description, or it seems that it's going to cover the time where, remember how there was like a jump forward in the first one? In The Last of Us? There was a jump between in the first one. No, in Last of Us.
Okay. Oh, jump between
in the time.
Yes.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
So it could also really cover over that as well.
Yeah, right.
Because it talks about how it's like they blah blah blah. 2 unlikely people come together. This and this.
Interesting.
And it follows their journey to like overcome whatnot.
Right, because there is that period in between. You're right, there is that jump. I specifically remember in the game, I think it's in and around when you first get the rifle for Ellie.
Yeah, it's when you get to play Ellie
because
for the
there's
first
a space,
time.
and you come back into Ellie where she's young. That sounds like if it's 2 people come together, then that sounds like it might be in that little space, as opposed to like post Firefly, post Operation, where Joel like pulls
her,
Ellie
yeah.
from that.
So it'll be interesting to see what it covers.
Procedure. I'm still careful about spoilers. I don't know, but that's Last of Us 1. So.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah. Anyway, like an amazing story. I'm excited to see what they might do with that.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
Really cool.
It seems, I don't know, like there's been so many bad iterations of video games and a lot of good ones now.
Yeah, they're starting to figure it out now.
Yeah, they're starting to figure it out. So I have high hopes for this one, especially because who's involved and what's happening.
Yeah.
So
until they release that Mortal Kombat movie and bring it all into question.
we'll see.
Again.
It's probably why Mando season 3 is delayed. Well, there's a few reasons why Mando season 3 is delayed. One, because of COVID and filming.
Well, yeah,
Two, because they've already said that Boba Fett is going to be coming out first.
That's right too.
And that is going to tie into the next season of Mandalorian. So it has to happen first.
It's a good call. Yeah.
So, because obviously I don't feel like him getting cast, getting cast as Joel, and the timing for the Mandalorian season 3, I don't think originally had anything to do with one another, because he wouldn't have, but when Mando would have ended originally, because keep in mind, like the Mandalorian ended for us on Disney Plus watching it at this date, but they had finished filming that a long time ago.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they had edited it and everything. The filming of that was pre-COVID pretty much, right? Yeah. So like you have to keep that in mind. I don't think it's like necessarily delayed. It's just the way that it like added timing.
Probably a couple of things. But I'm sure I'm sure I don't know, but I don't feel like Pedro Pascal would have made one choice over the other. So I'm sure they line up, right? Probably in the grand scheme of things. Still love Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, not gonna lie. Me too, Dimension.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm excited for Tom Holland, and I think it's really interesting to see them go in that direction.
Maybe like a younger.
And if you see some of the stills, the production stills,
amazing.
he looks really good. Plus, I know that Nathan Fillion, God love him, but he's like getting up there too. Tom Holland can do the stunts and can handle like the physical rigor that's going to go with the Nathan Drake game, and he does a lot of his own stuff, and he's a bit of a younger guy. But you remember when that Nathan Fillion like fan film came out for Uncharted? I was like so amped for that. That was, for a lot of fans of the Uncharted series, that was the perfect embodiment of what a live action Uncharted should be. But I'm excited with the direction they're going with it with Tom Holland.
I'm excited to see
He's done a lot of he's got a huge range. We know him a lot as Spider-Man, but like he's also done a lot of music theater, a lot of dance. He's also done a lot of really deep, complex, like troubled roles in like The Devil. Was it The Devil Always?
The Devil All the Time.
The Devil All the Time.
And then he has a new one out right now. Can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
I'm mad
but
respect
again,
for Tom Holland.
He has chops.
Yeah.
And we saw him in a movie from Ireland about like remember they had like the Ark of the Covenant or something like that they were transporting.
That's right. It was like a fantasy, like a medieval.
So he has crazy range.
And
I'm not worried about him being great in it. We'll see.
Mad love for Nathan Fillion for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is like at that time he was everything that Nathan Drake should. He's even named Nathan. It was like served up on a silver platter. But I think like for the real core action of what a true Uncharted film should be, I think Tom Holland will just physically be in a better position to do it, honestly. Yeah. Jack Black was cast in a Borderlands movie. I'm gonna have to look that up after. Interesting. Like you said, they seem to have gotten the idea of like how to do video games as movies better. Because remember, like there was a period between late '90s and early 2000s that they were all just
they've
garbage.
gotten how to do them for TV.
For TV, yeah, that's true. Maybe they just aren't meant to be like a 3-hour cinematic engagement. You know what I mean? It's like you have to crunch too much in. Yeah, with those lores are fully fleshed out. Has Tom Holland stopped spouting spoilers? I don't think so. He always has a chaperone in every interview. He's a chaperone.
Honestly, he's my favorite. Okay, I'm sorry. Like
Claptrap. Okay. Sorry.
He honestly he's precious and needs to be protected in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I've said many times.
So do Disney's secrets.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that there's time. He's so endearing. Like
Love
he
that
doesn't.
guy.
Yeah. It's great.
And then he'll go and do like the lip sync. What is the lip sync challenge where he did Rihanna's
Umbrella? Yeah.
And he was like dressed in latex and just did this insane number.
dance.
It was
well, he is a
crazy
dancer. Keep
because
that in
it just
mind.
shows his agility.
Yeah.
And he's a dancer.
He just gets so excited,
He
right?
get-
Yeah, he loves it
he's,
so
He's like
much.
all of us. He's like a big nerd. He gets fired up. He's genuinely excited. I get zero ego from him.
No, yeah,
You
exactly.
know, I would hate for it to be one of these things where behind the scenes you hear that he's an asshole, but you don't.
don't.
You only hear good things about
And
him.
I think
and that's
he's,
like
you know
those are
why?
celebrities
Because
I
the
can get
films
behind.
that he's doing, he's surrounded by good people also.
That's true
He's
too.
surrounded
right?
by like vets,
Jake
like
Gyllenhaal,
exactly, right?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Robert
say
Downey Jr.
Tony Stark.
That's hilarious.
He's now just
No,
Tony
but
Stark.
he's not
RDJ,
surrounded
yeah,
by
yeah. That's
other
true.
actors who you hear are assholes.
Yeah,
When do
that's
you
true.
hear about those guys being full of themselves
Yeah,
and
you
assholes?
don't.
You
You
don't.
don't.
So he's surrounded
Yeah.
by the good actors, the good people.
That's right. That's a great way to segue, I think, because moving on from lighthearted news, it's time to talk about funny shit on the internet.
Gandalf's bow matches
I don't know why.
my
but
bow.
Gandalf's
Look at
bow. Yeah, is that
Wrong
Gandalf's
side.
bow that you're
Yeah,
wearing
I'm
there?
wearing Gandalf's
Did you guys even
bow.
know that you can get in the cash shop? You can get a pink bow and robe combo cosmetic outfit for Gandalf. It's true. I feel like that's an Epic Store microtransaction worthy type thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Good times, good times. Who's going to lead us into funny shit on the internet? I say me.
Okay.
Because I just looked it up. I'm talking a little bit on the continued theme of Call of Duty that I've discovered this week. We came across Tactical Gramma. Are you guys familiar with this? Tactical Gramma is a pretty much a dedicated COD player, a Call of Duty player. She is insane. She's a PC player. We found this on TikTok, but she's got YouTube. She streams on Facebook Gaming, and she's just amazing. Like so down to earth, so wholesome. I feel like this is where we are as a generation, right? And I've recently, this week, I've been speaking out a lot about how gaming has helped me with anxiety, stress, and depression. Gaming has become part of my curriculum with my, the work that I'm doing. I'll just say with my therapist. I think I said that on stream for the first time on Wednesday, actually. So it's a big part of what I do. This streaming is a big part of what I do to help, progress that too, because it's the interaction. It allows me to express. And I see somebody like this who is of a particular vintage, but that is the gaming generation. Like, we are aging into ourselves now. And I think for a lot of people, that's a little strange because they're like, oh, like, gaming used to be something that kids did to waste time in the basement, right? And it's just not that. As gamers, we know the difference. So it's fun to see somebody like Tactical Gramma just genuinely, that's her dub, her solo dub in the Warzone.
I like the
couple weeks
one
ago.
where she shoots the guy out of the car.
Out of the car, yeah.
She
She's like
snipes him out of a car.
and she's a crazy sniper, which
she's
is like one of the
crazy.
most difficult things to pull off in the game. It's nuts. So I'm just really excited to see like a grandma or like an older individual, an older gamer, just thoroughly loving it. And she's so honest and endearing, and she gets excited about the game we do, right? We can feel that adrenaline when you're in the top 10 of the war zone, or like the numbers are ticking down and you're in a very confined space and the stakes are high.
Yeah.
And then her team is like calling back to her as well. It's so
Hilarious.
funny. I just love it. It's so wholesome. To me, it's like everything that I know gaming to be, that I want the rest of the world to realize gaming actually is. And I think we're getting there. And frankly, like I've always said, of the very few silver linings that exist in the time of COVID, this like rapid ascent of gamers and streamers is one of them. And I think it's really cool to see that lens shown on people who are of a particular vintage. She's older than I am, presumably.
I'd say at least 20 years
but like
older than you.
the fact that like, hey, we're professionals, we have jobs. Look at chat. I know a lot of you folks. You have jobs, you have bills, mortgages, families, whatever. Like, and we love video games. Like, stop pretending this is some kind of thing to be excised or rousted out of society. And I think people are starting to come around to that a lot. It's like it reminds me of like when people thought Dungeons and Dragons was like a satanic cult. It's like,
Oh my God, I know.
give it up. Like, that's not what it is. Stop shitting on it. Stop using it as a scapegoat. It's something that people have a lot of really fun or spend a lot of time and have fun doing. What is the words?
There
Anyway,
are still
it doesn't help me with my
there
word
are
talking
still
anyway.
people who think Dungeons and Dragons is to do with the devil.
I know, and there's still people who think that video games are responsible for like all the world's problems. I'll just say it there. I won't go,
Yeah.
But it's not. It really is amazing. It's fun. It's a great pastime, and like I said, it's not about me, but like people have hundreds of thousands of people watching them and viewing them and enjoying this as well. And that's like how we've got to appreciate that. It's a good thing, like get off us.
Yeah.
Get off us or you're going to get sniped out of a chopper by a grandma. Aging out, normalize therapy. My therapist is like part of my family. Thank you, Vegas. Absolutely. And that's sidebar. That's a lot of the story that I'm sharing now is like, look at like therapy is something, it's not something that like some people have to do. It's something in a lot of cases that everyone should do. Right. Anyway, I won't go there. That's another topic for another time. But anyway, I think like, it's been amazing for me. It's totally saved me in a lot of ways. I'm aging out myself, polyhedral paradise, for saying I missed something there. I missed the context. Sorry. Oh, hold up.
No, there wasn't any context. There wasn't context. There was not context. It was response to what you were talking about with the gaming and age.
Gotcha. Kim O'Leary, gaming gets you through too. Whenever watching streams or killing time, it's just blowing off stream. One of three main factors to keep you going, along with your kitty and phone calls to your family. Amazing. That's a beautiful trifecta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna read Vashi's comment.
Do it up.
Yeah. Also, yes, D&D isn't satanic.
It isn't satanic. Question. Kitten. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's interesting when Vashi says coming to the acceptance of games.
Yes.
It has to do maybe a bit with more pro gamers. When you make more money off of it, when people are making money, it becomes more acceptable. That's totally a true thing because like
there's a certain generation that don't believe it's viable unless there's money.
Yeah, so like
a
lot of the older generation, like if you can't make money at it, or you're not making money at it, then like why are you doing it, right? And it's like, well, because it's freaking fun. That's why. Gaming
is great, Michael Reeder. Yeah, and actually that, honestly, today I posted to my professional network exactly that. I was like, again, I'm just for context, I said this week I had 2,164 people watching me play Call of Duty, four videos over 4 streams have amassed 64,000, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, unfortunately, video gaming is not a realistic career choice, will not help you find a job, or video games are bad for you, won't help you find a job, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, and then I followed up and said, question everything you learn, because it's true. Like, that was beat into me, and I hate this, but it's true. I need to share it. Like, for the first 10 years of my career, I've been a passionate gamer for 35 years of my 41. For 10 years of my career, all I wanted to do was work in the gaming industry, and I was forcefully programmed to believe that it was just not something I could do. Right, I was told like this is something you got to get away from. Like gaming was something that I needed to remove myself from. It was something that I need to wean myself off of, like almost in a rehab sense. Like you've got to get away from that if you want to make something of your life. It was that type of thing. And I imagine that if I had had the right support to pursue that dream 10 years ago, would I be a successful marketer in the gaming industry? Now, fortunately, I've been lucky enough to stop that cold, start over, and really focus on it. And now I'm making headway into that industry, and I'm growing in that way. But it angers me that, like, at a very important developmental point in my career, I was very assertively told that, like, no, that's wrong. Retail, consumer packaged goods, industry, construction, that's where you need to be. Why? Because that's where the money's at. Exactly like Vashi was saying. The people who I was listening to, unfortunately, in that moment, were so aggressive about, like, gaming cannot be a career because it doesn't make money, and that's all it came down to. And the only time they started to listen was when I told them, like, oh, we get, like, some, we can make money this way or that way. And that's the only time they started to say, like, okay. And then begrudgingly, 15 years later, they're like, okay, well, you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I also have to take some accountability. I allowed myself to be programmed that way, but I was young and thought I thought the people I was listening to were the people who knew how to do it. That's unfortunate. So
Tactical Gramma reminds me about Skyrim
Gramma. We'll have to Google that after Kazubi, because then you have like the magic of Skyrim bugs plus a Gramma doing it. That'd be amazing.
ESPN and Barstool are also posting game comment now. Yeah, they are, right?
Everyone's jumping on it. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's jumping on it. Right?
And oh God, Polly, I lived through satanic panic.
Barstool.2.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Thought that was URL.
I know.
Anyway, God, this stream spot.
Polly, I lived through the satanic panic in the 80s. Almost got kicked out of school for having the OG Blue Book in the lunchroom.
Oh my God, for playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Isn't that so ridiculous to think about that, right? Like, that's ridiculous. That's.
I don't want to pin it on a generation, but we know it's a generation. It's a particular generation. And it's a generation that grew up knowing that like there were 3 options in life: engineers, doctors, and lawyers. That's it. Like you had to choose one if you wanted to get anywhere in life, right? Even that's being disproved. Gamers make money, like the real successful streamers bring in a lot and give back too. Well, that's what they're saying. They were saying that like gamers are the most philanthropic, generous, like charity-driven group of earners. I don't want to say in the world, but like there are a lot of headlines that I saw last week. I don't know the stats, so I don't want to quote it, but yeah, we're seeing that like they are also very giving. They're also very, very holistic. Now, to say like streaming as a career, I will say is a very long road. If you think about like just streaming as a career to make money, I always caution people against like going into that, but you can make a very diverse portfolio of things you can do in the gaming sphere to earn a pretty decent income. You look at like the Ninjas of the world, the Doc Disrespects. It's just like making it big in Hollywood or on Broadway or winning the lottery for that matter. You just have to do it. You have to give it everything you can and then hope for a break. And that to me is a little too risky. But I mean, my point is like that doesn't mean you can't work in games, right? Like I'm a marketing professional. I'm an integrated marketing executive. That's kind of like my title. I can do that in the video games industry.
There's lots of different things you can do with.
But I was always told like, no, you got, and this is the other thing too. I got praised when I started working for Walmart. I got praised when I started working for like XYZ big brand. And that's the thing. When I got like 2,100 viewers on a stream, my family were like, I don't know what do you, that's a waste of time. That's time you could have spent like trying to work for, you know, a big Fortune 500 company, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's lighthearted. So
this is literally funny shit on the internet. You've digressed.
It's funny shit on the internet. I know. I've gone off the rails. Pleasant with the big subscription. Thank you very much for the sub, Pleasant. So
because Vegas gifted it.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you. Good call out. Vegas, thank you much for the gifted sub. Much appreciated. Going to Pleasant Doom, who is lurking with us in chat today.
As Vegas
and
was
Pleasant
just saying,
Doom is an amazing community member too.
Twitch is a giving platform.
Oh, that's amazing, Vegas. That's so sweet of you. Thank you very kindly. And you know what? Who better than Pleasant to receive that?
Yeah, definitely.
Her and Ampod have been really focused on building the community too, the community gaming nights as well. So that's amazing. Very kind of you, Vegas. Thank you very much. And Pleasant, congratulations on your sub on behalf of Vegas. Very generous. Thank you. To think that somebody almost got kicked out of school for playing D&D, how friggin' silly does that sound right now?
That sounds ridiculous.
So we're already at a point where we're going to start looking back on gaming to be the same thing, right? Gaming's a sin. Prove me wrong. That's what we're doing, I think. I've heard the video game industry has surpassed the film industry as far as total net worth goes. That doesn't surprise me at all. But it's also a lot more diverse, right? You have like esports endorsements, sponsorships, but the film industry is pretty big too. And I wonder how much of that is COVID related. But I mean, there you have it, right? The gaming industry has exploded over COVID, where a lot of other industries have waned, right? Or struggled in other ways. So,
yeah.
What's up?
No, nothing.
Okay. Do you want to read more?
No, go ahead.
Okay, just done. Now with COVID and theaters being closed, people being forced to stay at home, what better way to pass the time than play a game? Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, people like to attack games like COD and... anyway, you're right. It's funny shit on the internet. Tactical Grandma is amazing. She's extremely skilled. I digress. Maybe another conversation another time. Thank you for keeping me on the rails.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
If we don't get back on track,
and
then
I think that's kind of the attitude that people take with entrepreneurial types in general. At least they just make it huge. You're not just a cog in the system. Well, no, that can't be right. Yeah, absolutely. We just need to do a better job of inspiring people to follow where their real passions lie. And COVID, another one of the very few silver linings, COVID is bringing that out too, because people are now forced. A lot of them are out of their jobs. They're forced to look inward and say like, okay, well, what do I want to do? And this is what they're doing. A lot of them are leaning into gaming. A lot of them are starting to stream because it's like they've been unlocked from that weight of like doing what they were always told or always felt they had to do. And I think that's a beautiful thing. We're going to see that ecosystem have some really long-term changes on how we behave and how we operate and what we value in the working world. So something to look forward to there, I think. Now I can bag on.
No trolling. Enough trolling.
He was buying a season's pass.
Enough trolling.
To troll
This
Bigly.
Is a troll-free zone. This
All
is
right.
supposed to be a happy.
I don't know if I would say that. All right, Bigly, you're up next with your funny shit on the internet, and this is pretty great. It's about as funny as law can be. Here you go.
I'm sure everyone has seen this by now.
Speaking of kitten.
But the lawyer who was showing up, because like as many of you know, court cases and mediations and everything have to be done over Zoom right now, right? So this poor lawyer got stuck in his Zoom call with a cat filter on, and not just like any cat filter. The eyes and the mouth move with his voice.
Hilarious.
And he sounds so like distraught. If you haven't watched the video with the sound, you need to watch it with the sound.
Just Google cat lawyer.
Yeah, just use the Google cat lawyer, because he literally is like, "Oh, judge," and they're like, "It seems you have a filter on." He's like, "I know," and then he's like, "Right, yeah." He's like, "I'm ready to go on." Like he was full on, like he'll do the case, right? And then he's like, "Yeah," and then Vegas, and then he's like, "I'm not a cat."
I assure you, I'm live. I am not a cat.
Not a cat.
He like verifies.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's like he's obviously not a cat.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, and like he's like, "No, I was full on ready to go
Ready
and
to
do it as
proceed,
a
yeah.
cat."
Mhm.
You know, because it was a court case, and like they're hard to reschedule, and he said he was using his assistant's computer.
Yep.
And maybe he said, I think like maybe one of her kids was using it or something, and then the filter was on, so they didn't check it beforehand. They just like went live with the camera, and then that cat filter was on, and they had no idea. And like, I'll be honest, I'll say like most people of his generation don't know how to use Zoom really.
Absolutely.
So like they know how to turn it on.
Facts.
Yeah, they know how to turn it on and go, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So filters and all that sort of thing. And if you don't know where to go and click and look for it, it isn't super, super easy to find, right? It's not like intuitive to find it. So I was killed. It's so funny. And a lot of people were just like thanking him for doing it, because it like brought so much joy to people. Like this silly accident.
You can never get enough of that.
And like he was on the Today Show, and like people were just like, "Thank you so much for that," and like, you know, you just made us smile, and people thought it was so great. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I hope he wins his court case now."
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there are higher stakes than just the comedic lulls to win a court case.
All business meetings should use them.
Yeah, I agreed. Well, we used to have them in a couple of different places that I worked in, clients that I worked with, where we just like, mostly was backgrounds. I actually started something where a place where I was like, I wanted to theme the meetings. So I did one that one week was like a beach theme, and everybody like, I encouraged everyone to like come in like beach clothes. And one of my colleagues had like, you know, their nose, like with,
that's cute.
Zinc, like sun guard. And like custom backgrounds and stuff like that. Just anything you can do to add some levity to the regular workday, you know, is a good thing. Now this guy he's actually a fairly prominent trial lawyer in Texas. And they said when they interviewed him, he was in a different area. I guess he had moved, or he had traveled to a different area to take this call, and he was using his assistant's computer. He said what happens is like they basically, how they're doing it on Zoom now for these court hearings and mediations is they have like, you're in a lobby, right? And then the judge will call your case, and then you just come up on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
They do it all the time. So he was just there in the lobby waiting for his case to come up. And when it came up, that's what they all saw. He didn't even realize at first. But the other thing too is like these proceedings take a very long time.
Oh yeah.
So like it can take months to get to that date.
Yeah.
So when you're up there, that's what I think is like I'm prepared to go ahead, because he knows like they can't just cancel.
No,
you can't just not do it, right?
I'm not a
it
cat.
could be another like 6 to 9 months before you. Yeah. Anyway, they wouldn't defer a court date because somebody errantly had a filter on. But he's like, I assure you, I'm live. I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
But strangely enough, you know the
and
best.
The cat looks so stressed too.
The best part
video,
is, you can see the stress even on the filter.
You know, like we know when you like your cat is scared and your cat's just like,
yeah,
that's what the cat.
It's like
like
an actual cat didn't know it was on camera.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, in all the clips, you see this big black like disclaimer with text that says like, by law, like no portion of this video can be recorded,
hilarious.
shared, or. It's like a big legal disclaimer, because clearly it's protected, right? Like it's clearly confidential.
So then,
but I guess the only clip you'll find is like that first snippet where they were talking about what was going on.
Who shared that then?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Like, who actually shared that? Because it had to be either somebody who was watching it.
You know who it was? It was a court reporter.
It may have been a court reporter.
Because the court reporters aren't on camera. And I only know this because of
That's the first thing
hand.
that I thought too. I was like, who shared this out? Because it wasn't either of the two lawyers or the judge.
Because the court reporter might have been recording it as backup.
Could have been.
Right? Because they're allowed to do that. for like track and thing like that.
That's interesting.
So it was totally the court reporter.
Yeah.
My mom's a court reporter. That's why I'm saying this. So I know that they're not typically up
Yeah.
on the screen, right? They're just there to take the notes and get,
Yeah.
you know, a log of what everyone is saying. So, and they do have a recording typically as a backup of the sound and things like that. So yeah, but also in the States, they are allowed to record things.
Yeah, well, in court they are. They're allowed to have like television cameras and video.
Yeah, here they're
film
not.
things in court. Not in Canada. No.
He definitely meowed up.
We can't. We don't have audio. We don't allow audio recordings in court in Canada.
Yes,
either,
you
I
are.
don't believe.
Yes,
well,
you
I mean,
are.
for records you can, but not like broadcasts. There's no like reporters can't go in and record it and then report on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it happened to a lawyer. Yeah, it's funny. There's this whole like weird cyclical thing where it's like a big disclaimer that like this is highly protected and confidential and cannot be recorded or
Yeah.
shared, and it's lawyers who are doing it, and it gets shared, and
Yeah.
then the lawyer doing like interviews and stuff
great,
about
it's
it. I don't
great.
know. I guess when you write the law, you can write the law. I want to do my Zoom meetings as a cat now. No wonder if I can get away with it. Try it and let us know, Kim, and just be like, now there is actually legal precedent.
I think I'll do my lessons from that one.
To do
My
it.
vocal lessons.
You
just
can
with,
totally
like,
get away with it. I thought court cases were public info. Yeah. So those discoveries aren't though. Those discoveries won't be.
Because that's not like a court case. It's probably a discovery or a mediation.
This is the period that takes place before the court case. Yeah,
Exactly.
this would be before it goes to court. Something. Who knows what they were there for? I guess that's part of it. You definitely meow stuff.
Yeah, I said that. That's funny.
Meow, meow. Not very protected.
Oh, no, our
Cat
cat's
potential.
potential.
Oh, we started it now.
no.
We started a torrent of
But yeah,
vortex
it was
of
super
cat
cute.
farts.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's so
pretty
innocent
amazing.
and
That
adorable.
what a great like bright spark,
Right?
though. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm actually really glad, and this kind of contravenes all the other stuff we were talking about, like how everybody's looking for a reason to be upset these days. This is something that was like, they clearly had the disclaimer, you're not supposed to record, you're not supposed to share this out, but this happened, they did, and no one's really getting on about like the fact that,
No.
oh, this should have
because
been
no
like, you know,
information
because-
of what the case was about or anything
yeah,
was shared.
but I like to think also that people are capable of taking something that's just inherently good and light and funny and just enjoying it
Yeah,
for the moment.
yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna go with. That's what story I'm sticking to it. But yeah, kudos to them. His phone's probably ringing off the hook now.
Yeah,
you
for
know, as
interviews and
representation in
everything.
Texas. So power to him, and I just hope that I think people are gonna expect him
I want the
to now
cat
be
lawyer.
the cat version. Yeah, is this
the cat lawyer?
is this the number for the cat lawyer? Because Texas. That's my best Texan, I guess. All right. Funny shit on the internet. Just to give us a moment, gang. We just lost the feed on the Twitchiverse. But it's showing... Yeah, no, that's weird.
Oh, are we?
I don't know. Are we back? Hey! All right, good stuff.
Are we back? No, we're not. Yes,
Are
we
we
are.
back?
No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we aren't. We're
Are
back.
we- okay, we're back.
We're back.
We're leaving.
Are we back?
All right. As I was saying,
we're
yes, there we go.
back.
We're back. I don't know what
That's
that
so
was.
weird.
Twitch just had a baby poop. Twitch had a baby poop.
Yeah, because we only dropped on Twitch.
As we were saying. All right. Nerdy Warning kicks off with, National Pokemon Day, or International, I guess, Pokemon Day is February 27th, and they have enlisted a heavy hitter in the hip-hoposphere, Post Malone. Is Post Malone Canadian?
No,
Why do
he's
I think Post
American.
Malone is Canadian?
No, he's
All right.
very American.
I'm just trying to like adopt Post Malone. We'll trade you Celine Dion and Alanis Morissette for Post Malone. How about that? Can somebody give us a vet on that? That would be awesome. Can somebody vouch for that trade? It is draft time. Thank you very much, Joy, for liking this stream. Hello and welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, the White Iverson. Yeah, that's right. White Iverson.
That's good. I don't want to go on.
Something else young. Does White Iverson mean cocaine? I think it's a metaphor in that song, but maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. That's right. He's actually
look
so
at all
Post
the
Malone's actually
Pikachus.
doing a virtual concert for Pokemon Day, and it's funny because like in the lead-in, he's like, "I can't believe it took us 25 years to get here. Like I've waited for this so long." He's talking about.
I'm just underscoring you.
Yeah, no, I get that. I got that reference, Vegas. But do you think he's also talking about like?
I don't think he is.
Maybe not. Maybe I just made that up. I'm trying to glamorize it. Yeah, so it's National Pokemon Day. There are events planned all over the world, #Pokemon Day. Now, historically, there have been some kind of releases. Last year, I think they announced Sword and Shield, new tiers of Pokemon trading card games. Pokemon Go had new updates and events in the alternate reality app version of the game. So they have all kinds of really great worldwide events for Pokemon fans and players. Yeah, and the best part is this is the kind of thing, I mean, typically there are parades, there are gatherings, there are showcases, exhibitions, and things like that. But at least, good stuff. Actually, interestingly enough, I think it was in 2018 on National Pokemon Day, they announced and launched the Pikachu voice interaction thing for both Alexa and Google Home, where you could actually talk to Pikachu. So things like this. McDonald's is giving Pokemon cards out in Happy Meals.
Well, then let
your kids eat chicken nugs.
We need Happy Meals then.
Yeah. So Pokemon, that's my own tactical grandma. Nan knows really loved Pokemon.
Your Nan loved Pokemon.
That's so cute.
It'd be tactical.
It would be like
Pokemon.
Trainer Grandma.
Trainer Grandma. Trainer Nan.
No, what's the gym master?
Gym leaders?
Gym leaders. Gym leader Grandma. Gym leader Nan. That's right. Pokenan. Pikachu was her favorite. Pikachu has a lot of fans the world over, I think. Did you know that Pokemon is an adjunct of Pocket Monster?
I did know that, actually.
Really?
Yep.
I'm sure anybody who's a remotely fan would know that, but I only learned that recently.
Oh,
actually.
I loved Pokemon.
Yeah. And I guess then Digimon would be an adjunct of Digital Monster.
It is.
Is there a rivalry between
Yes.
Pokemon fans and Digimon fans?
Yes. I watched both.
Please tell me.
Digimon was super cute. They were on around the same time, in Canada. I remember when they were both on YTV.
Yeah. I watched Pokemon when I was a kid.
I watched Pokemon religiously. Yeah. But I didn't watch Digimon religiously. They weren't as cute. And I didn't like that they were cute and then they would grow up into bigger things when they transformed, and then they'd be ugly a lot of times, and there were only some pretty ones, and I hated it. But it was cute, but Pokemon was better. I don't know, the characters were more interesting to me in Pokemon.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, it was Pokemon was the original thing that I found, I guess, that I was introduced to. So at that point, if that's your experience, then everything else tends to be a copycat.
Did you like it, or were you a little too old for it when it came out? Because it came out in the 90s. Wouldn't you have been a little...
Yeah. What? Too old for Pokemon?
Yeah. Well, originally when it came out?
Excuse me.
Aw, Josh.
No, Josh with the big sub. 8 months strong. Josh, thank you so much for the subscription. Love you, buddy. Good to see you again. I know you've been really busy this last little while. Josh, of course, continued to do the good work out there in the world, but an amazing and consistent supporter of the channel. Much appreciated, and the community, of course. Like we always say, we're just happy when you guys hang out with us, join us, be part of the conversation, be part of the community. But when you do support, it goes directly into the channel, into the content, and we'll keep working hard for you.
Are you going to get a Switch? We already own a Switch.
Yeah, we have a Switch.
We have a Switch.
In fact, we are going to start streaming Breath of the Wild, I think, after Ghost of Tsushima, if we haven't been frustrated enough by Ghost of Tsushima, for various different conversation. But yeah, we're going to get a Switch, and
we have a Switch.
A lot of...
We're going to bring it...
Sorry, we're going to get...
What he meant was we're going to bring the Switch from downstairs up to upstairs.
We're going to get it up to the studio. So Pokemon, and apparently Sword and Shield, by Pokemon fan standards, is one of the best Pokemon games created. I think it really has that. Pokemon games have typically been either about top-down, almost like Zelda-style RPG, or it's been just about the battles, right? This is the first time where they've brought you into a third-person avatar world where you could travel, encounter the world, and go to gyms and do the battles, right?
Snowing out for 2 days now.
Oh my God, 2 days straight of snow, Josh.
Josh,
you were saying it was negative 20 Fahrenheit?
That's what it's
the other day.
Yeah, it's supposed to be negative 20 Celsius here today.
That's crazy. Yeah, it feels like negative 20, which I was thinking, is that 12 degrees Fahrenheit then?
No, I don't know.
Josh actually did the math and
sent
me a temperature calculator to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, and I'm like, why didn't I always have this? So thank you for that. COD is a first-person action adventure game.
No, it's not.
I appreciate your effort, Vegas. COD is a first-person action adventure game. Bigly would love it.
It's still first person. So.
It is. Yeah, for her, it's more like the first-person vantage point there's actually like a motion sickness aspect of it and stuff. So, need a hot tub. Yeah,
Come on over.
Like hot tub D&D. Hey, there's a niche, Josh. Get on it. Nobody steal that. Get on it, Josh. Hot tub D&D. Do it up. If you have to run, then you can write off your hot tub as a business expense.
Yeah.
If you have, because Josh runs a contingency system and does like DM teach and trains and trains groups and stuff like that for role-playing games. It's awesome. If you have to run over a bunch of land, explore houses, it's true. Collect materials. It is a survival game. You have to survive in a very aggressive world. -40 is where Celsius and Fahrenheit meet. Pleasant Doom. Thank you very much.
You go.
I had no idea.
That
So
explains
-40
then-
Celsius is -40 Fahrenheit.
So
that
then
makes sense.
that explains then on Snowpiercer why they only say Celsius.
That's right. Oh, yeah,
After
you're
that.
right. Wait, but then do they cross over, or is anything below 40 always the same? That doesn't make sense. I think it's just that point where they're the same.
It's 70 degrees. Shut up, Vegas.
Stop your nonsense, Vegas. That's enough
Whatever.
out of you.
This is why we're leaving Canada.
We're
This
leaving
is why we're
Canada.
moving.
Yeah, enough of this nonsense. Enough of this snow. And that's the temperature Saskatchewan is trying to give you.
Trying to give you.
Like, here, have this one, America. Yeah, don't say we don't have, we don't offer gifts to our neighbors in the South. Wow. Yeah, just that point. Gotcha. Yeah, so National Pokemon Day, February 27th.
A
Put
day
it in
after
your
my
calendars.
birthday. It's easy for me to remember.
Yeah,
Mark
get
it in your
your Pikachu
calendars. February
on.
26th.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind trying like Sword and Shield or any of those because they're good Switch games too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've always loved Pokemon. I've always loved Pokemon. Like I said, I was probably on the later end of folks who were introduced to Pokemon in the Western world. But for me, it was more about the games. Like I liked the show, and my brother actually was a little bit more
Yeah, that
into
makes
it.
sense because he's the same.
But I guess by vicariously, like I got exposed to it that way, and I did enjoy it. I loved Pikachu too. I just like he's such a cute character. He was very endearing too and cute. But for me, then it was about the games because I really loved the concept of the games, capturing these little monsters and like battling them with your friends.
Did you ever play them on like
It was a prospect of what that could be.
Because I played them on Game Boy Color. I had my Game Boy Color that I played them on.
And I played it on Nintendo DS as
Pokemon
well.
Silver.
I played it on DS for a while.
I liked playing them. Yeah, they're fun playing.
Yeah. I miss Sweaty and Gross so hard right now. Yeah, when you pick your weapon, right? You can either be Sweaty and Gross or freezing and just like everything hurts. Josh, I'm like permafroze head Rottweilers dangling off your legs. Leg raptors chewing all night. Oh my God. Yeah, red and blue.
Red and blue. Okay, yeah.
And then there were Pokemon that were
gold and
exclusive to
silver.
different games. So just a brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as product goes and marketing, it's just absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so coming up on February 27th, you can celebrate all that is Pokemon the world over. And there's going to be a lot of really great digital events. So if you are a fan of Pokemon or you like that culture, do check it out. If you're a fan of Pokemon, you probably know this already. But yeah, feel free to check it out. And rounding out, Nerdity Warning, the timing is perfect. We're gonna try not. We're not going into spoilers.
I will say it. It's my topic. Don't lead into my topic.
All right.
I will lead into my
All
topic.
right. With the last word on Nerdity Warning, let's go bigly.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about WandaVision. So I am going to be mentioning last week's episode a bit. We have not watched today's episode, so please, no spoilers about today's episode, but I will be talking about last week's episode and the weeks before. So if you haven't seen those and you don't want spoilers, you may mute the stream. So that's it. That's your warning. Here I go. So as you know, it's been speculated for like a while now. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago about that they're expecting Paul Bettany in a couple of interviews now has talked about working with a actor that he's always wanted to work with, and that fireworks flew, and that like it was like it's so exciting, and he's never worked with this actor before. So there's a huge speculation now around who it is. So obviously at the end of last episode, we got a guest on the show of Quicksilver, but not the Quicksilver from the MCU. It's the Quicksilver from Fox's X-Men films of the other actor. I cannot think of his name at the moment.
Oh, right. He was Kick-Ass in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
That was him. Yeah.
So basically, there's a
Hugh
whole
Jackman,
huge thing of like, basically like, how the hell is this version of
X-Men.
Quicksilver in the MCU's version. And no, we don't think that he was the big reveal person, the big special guest star. Because first off, we're like, we don't think, if you think about the marks that Paul Bettany, Evan Peters, thank you.
Yeah, the previous.
If you think about the people that Paul Bettany talks about having sparks with Vision and his character and working with, and someone he's never worked with, someone he's always wanted to work with, it's going to be a huge shock to people. So Evan Peters was way back announced that he was going to be in WandaVision. So it's not a surprise. He's obviously not the special guest. Plus, it's not the last episode, and we're pretty sure it's going to be happening during the last episode. Bye, Josh. Off to work. Have a good day.
Hope it goes smoothly.
So the question still remains, who is the guest star? So we're going to break it down. All right.
Okay.
So
I'm excited.
There's a lot of speculation here about who could it be. So three big. Okay, we'll start with number one, Ian McKellen. Okay, as Magneto. Now, the reason this is a potential is because in the MCU and in comic book lore and everything, Magneto is the father of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Okay, so if we're going on that basis, it makes sense for him to potentially appear. There is a lot of speculation that mutants are going to be a part of it, and especially with Wanda having her 2 kids who are known to be like mutants, it makes sense that they're definitely bringing some sort of X-Men element into it. They have kind of hinted at that happening. So that makes sense. Would he be a huge, oh my God moment for our fans? Yes, abso-freaking-lutely. That would satisfy fans to no end. Here's the problem, though. It's Paul Bettany said it's someone he's never worked with. After looking at a few different things, Paul Bettany has worked with Ian McKellen before. Ian McKellen and him were both in The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, good pull, Bigley.
So,
I'm impressed.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be Ian McKellen.
Good sleeper. Because
why would it? Paul Bettany specifically said that. I'm ignoring you, Vegas. I'm going to ban you. Ian McKellen basically has already acted in scenes with Paul Bettany before. So it's not. Yeah, Erendor, exactly. He is, and that was my other side of it as well, is Ian McKellen's like 80-something now. Yeah. He's getting up in age. He's not as sprightly as he used to be. He's not like the Magneto we would probably expect to see.
And shooting a series is hard. It's tough on the body. It's
so most likely him. The other thing was, well, maybe it's spoken by him. Yes, and this is where I was going. A lot of people were saying that maybe it's Michael Fassbender's Magneto, right? Especially because the time period that they're setting in right now, the 80s, if you look back at the like X-Men Past one, that's the years that it was set in was in the 80s, because that's why we think this version of Quicksilver is in it as well. Right? Problem with that is it doesn't really fit. Fassbender isn't really, we can't see him being like someone who like Paul Bettany was like dying to work with. I don't see Paul Bettany.
They're almost like on a peer level,
exactly. I don't see Paul Bettany being like, it's someone he's always wanted to work with. Like Michael Fassbender's pretty
Since he saw him in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, right? So I don't feel like it's Michael Fassbender. And also because Michael Fassbender as well, even though, would he satisfy fans? No, I don't think so, because to be completely honest, I think a lot of fans will forget he was Magneto. Like, I don't think he'd come and be like, oh yeah, he was Magneto type thing. So I don't feel like it's him either. The other person a lot of people were saying is Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X, right? Which would also be crazy amazing. Could we see Paul Bettany saying that he'd want to work with him? Absolutely, right? Would it be a fan service? Absolutely. Kitten, he's holding my hand. He's like, I know, mommy. Pay attention to me. The problem with this one, though, unfortunately, is I don't know if anyone saw the Super Bowl ads of Paramount is launching a new streaming service, and Sir Patrick Stewart is their poster boy for it.
Really?
I believe that like a bunch of him and his shows are going on that streaming network.
Yeah.
So, and they had a ton of Super Bowl commercials around it, and Patrick Stewart was a huge thing of it. So that is in direct competition with Disney Plus.
Good. That's really good.
So what the problem?
Good research.
And they do have the best bromance. Agreed.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, because of that, he might run into some contract issues and that
he's up
sort
there
of
too.
thing.
Like he's
He
an old
is a
dude.
bit older too.
I mean, Picard
he's also
can't have
super
been
busy.
easy.
Yeah, with Picard and that sort of thing. So maybe not. There was the whole thing of like, I don't think we're going to see the younger version of him either. Again, because of that reason.
Right.
So then we get into what really, really would make sense. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
Okay, as Doctor Strange. Now, would fans be happy to see him in this show? Absolutely.
Yes.
Guess what? Him and Paul Bettany have never worked together.
Hey.
Yes, they did a movie together. They did. They did Endgame. They did Infinity War together. They had no scenes together.
I'm getting like
So they had
goosebumps.
So they had no scenes together, right? Vision was on Earth. Doctor Strange went. They never had scenes together. By the time Doctor Strange in Endgame gets back to Earth after the blip, Vision's dead.
Yeah.
Also, we know that Elizabeth Olsen is in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness film, right? So we know that there is going to be that crossover, and people are speculating that she is going to be the villain in that film. So wouldn't it make sense, as we know, as the MCU loves to do, is to tie all their shit together?
Makes sense of the multiverse.
We know that we have this movie. We have WandaVision. Yes, we have a few like Winter Soldier and Loki in between there. I don't think those are going to tie in as much as WandaVision is to the films, because then at the end of this year we have the Spider-Man 3 film coming out, which we know also is most likely going to have to do with the multiverse from all the little things that we've been hearing.
Tied in. Yep, for sure.
And then the one after that is the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness film. So it makes sense for all of those to link together. Would Paul Bettany and Benedict Cumberbatch probably have like amazing chemistry on screen together? Yes.
Yeah.
Would it make sense for him to be there? Yes, because we're also thinking the only reason that this version of Quicksilver could possibly be here is because of the multiverse.
Yeah.
How else would he get there?
Yeah.
We're pretty sure he was pulled there by someone from some other dimension. So it makes sense for him to be it. So that is my guess. I know it's a few other people that have been watching. I think it makes the most sense. I would love for it to be Patrick Stewart or someone like that. But I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, me too. Big fan.
So much.
Speaking of sleuthing.
So
very Sherlockian of you to
Watson,
put that
come.
together. Well done.
So I think it's going to be Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that makes the most sense for the tie-ins and everything. Plus, it's going to be like people they know as well, so there might be a little bit more of a dynamic there than introducing like a Magneto or Professor X into it, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Which would like there's almost like too much of an upset of the balance of power if you throw like Magneto or Professor X into it, because then you're pulling from like almost like the executive branch of hero.
And like, you know, I mean, they're saying like Elizabeth Olsen, like Scarlet Witch in the last episode, again spoilers, pulls a Magneto where she turns all the guns on the one guy, because Magneto does that in one of the older like X-Men films. Yeah,
the sword guy.
So, you know, it's the same type of thing. It could be, and I always say, like, just because an actor says they didn't do it and don't want to do it doesn't mean they didn't actually. They might be kind of like trying to push attention away and defer a little bit, you know, so I could see Ian McKellen doing that as well, but at the same time he is really I think the age thing, right? That's the biggest factor.
Don't think it's McKellen or Stewart.
So there we go.
Nice.
So we'll see. So
you
when
did
we
your
get
homework,
so
man.
when
That's
we get
pretty
there,
I'm friggin' blown away. But
so when we get there, I will make sure that we cover that in the Nerdity once it is revealed in March. I think March 5th is the last episode. If it happens before then we'll talk about it before then.
Amazing. Pleasant got a meeting. Our pleasure, Pleasant Doom. Have a great day. Thanks for coming by today. Yeah, that's really well researched too. I know you've been following this for a long time, and I get to kind of like sit and listen for the first time with you, and I think that's really good. I think you've really pulled together some great cues there too, and I know you've done a lot of watching and reading about it.
I have.
So is that supposed to happen? Is that supposed to be today's episode?
No, we don't.
Okay,
So here's
we
the
won't see
thing.
that
We don't
until-
know when, but my guess is it's going to be near the end.
Near the end.
Because
Gotcha, okay.
the last episode or one of the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be today. I don't think it's going
But
to be
things
today.
on WandaVision are escalating very quickly.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it, I definitely highly recommend it. Obviously, if you haven't watched any of the MCU films or any of those, and you're interested in checking out WandaVision, at least watch Infinity War and Endgame to kind of put things together for you. And if you really want to know a little bit more, you can go back to Age of Ultron as well, because Age of Ultron is the setup for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
And when we're not streaming, just turn off your internet. Because it's very difficult to dodge right now.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, don't want to see spoilers, don't look.
It's one of those.
Like,
I
I won't look on the
like,
internet
it's
the rest
really
of the day
hard to
today.
talk about because like everything is a spoiler too. Like that show, Marvel's always been notorious. Well, Disney's Marvel has always been notorious with this.
the
and
MCU,
the
MCU,
symbolism. Yeah, the MCU. The symbolism, like everything being interconnected in these little Easter eggs and even background things that you would very easily miss. Like that's why folks like Eric Voss and New Rockstars have made entire existences around just picking this stuff out, right, and like putting it together. So they're notorious for doing that. It's all I've always said. Like I feel like WandaVision's kind of starting to become the center focus. It's like the center hub of all of these like split existences. Let me just finish it real quick.
I just have something cool to say with that.
Because and as such, literally everything in the show is a potential spoiler. It gets to the point where after a few episodes, if you're tuned into this and you're watching at that level, you start to try to see everything at once. Like you're even looking at like shit on the counter or stuff on the wall. It's that deep.
Yeah,
and because of that, I feel like I can't say anything about WandaVision because literally everything could be a spoiler. But I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Aaron said, it was a rough start, and I know a lot of people have felt that too. The first couple episodes seemed quite polarizing. Like people either loved it or hate it. But those who have kind of gone beyond the third episode and beyond are really like now almost unanimously.
I didn't think it was a rough start. I think it just people didn't expect that.
Right.
Right. There's a difference,
it was a very
right?
different flavor.
It's
like,
very
is
different.
It a sitcom?
Right. This is the thing. It's supposed to be confusing. So I think there's a difference. A rough start to me means like it wasn't very good, right? I don't think that's the case at all. No. It wasn't excellent. It just was confusing, right? So we don't want to confuse bad with confusing, right?
No.
Because I loved it finishing and me being like, what the hell just happened? I thought it was so cool and like so
creating
nuanced.
the confusion in the viewer.
If you watch some of the like things, the breakdowns of the episode and things like that, honestly, I find that okay, so that's the thing, Arendor. These shows, and I'm gonna full on say this, you have to have watched the things before it to know. You have to have watched everything else leading up to it. If you don't know it,
even at least the mainstream movies.
Yeah, it's not. It's not for
someone
to just like.
I'm trying to remove that from my memory and experience it again, and it is very much like what the F is going on here.
So you have to know. You do have to watch everything else. You have to have watched their lead-ins. Yeah. Same with like the new Winter Soldier and Falcon one. Same with Loki. If you haven't watched everything, but have you just watched the films or have you like looked up like I find that if you like watch some of the like breakdowns of them and like look into some more of the things.
But you're also talking about two different things too, right? Like there's one if you haven't watched the movies, and there's another if you don't know the deep lore, right? So like I'm Arendor in this case. Like I've watched the films, I don't know the deep lore, but I do know after, like because we've gone in to watch.
But
things
that's
like
what I mean,
Rockstars.
right?
Honestly, I would say at this point, I would almost argue that like. And it is this way for us. New Rockstars is almost like a companion app to WandaVision for us right now. If you check it out, New Rockstars, Eric Voss, you'll sit down and watch a quick 20-minute video that'll give you all this context. Now, you could argue that you shouldn't have to go deep into the lore to understand a show, and that's fair too. But yeah, and we're not saying that you're saying it's bad or
it's things like this. It's things like this.
Just in general, like we're saying.
When was the last time you watched all the films? That's the big difference, right? Because if you've watched them more recently, I find that you pick up on things a little more rather than like, for instance, Darcy, who was in Thor, right, is in WandaVision.
That's right. Too.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was the first one to call it out.
I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Which one? All of them? This is
No,
what I'm
the
saying.
point is, though, but you
Just
get-
listen,
but-
just
yeah,
listen.
okay.
What I'm saying, though, is WandaVision pulls from Age of Ultron,
It does.
from Civil
That's
War.
what I'm saying. It's like
it
the hub.
pulls
It's
from,
starting to become the hub of
It pulls
everything.
from all
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
right?
But it is
So-
still confusing if you don't get all those relationships. Honestly, imagine if we were still watching it, but we hadn't gotten any of the context outside of the show, any of the comic lore, any of the breakdowns from
I guess
your
that's
rock
hard
stars.
for me because I knew a lot of
Exactly.
it anyway,
let's
so
say
it's
if we-
hard
if we
for me to
empathize with-
say.
right. So but that's the thing. Like, did they make a show just for those people who get all that deep lore?
Well, I
Right?
think a little bit they
I
did,
can
and
get
I
that.
think
and that's totally valid.
I think
then to
Paulie
say,
kind
like,
of said
this
that
is-
Marvel has enough capital to pull that off, though, right? Like
Absolutely,
they can,
absolutely. Yep.
right? They're
yep.
like, no, this is for the fans. This
Yes,
is
but
for like.
we're just exactly. But the point is, like, is that what they've done in this case?
Well, I think here's what I think. So like I know
That's a really good call out.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a good.
I
I'm
know
glad you've opened
people.
this up.
I know people who've watched the show and don't know they've watched all the movies and they get it and they really love the show. They're a little confused. And then there's like someone like me who knew a little bit more of comic book lore and things like that for it,
Yeah.
without watching the Eric Voss stuff, right? Who noticed a few other little things.
Yeah.
And then if you watch like some of the breakdowns and that sort of thing, then it really pulls. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Um,
just for credit where credit
yes.
is due, Aaron
gosh,
did
you
actually
did
watch
watch
all
them.
the movies 2 weeks ago. Respect.
Drugs?
I would love to do that.
Drugs? Were you on drugs though? Did you have drugs though? It might
Then
have skewed your
WandaVision
view.
may have made more sense.
Yeah,
if
right?
that's the case. So, like,
But
Yeah.
watch the breakdowns honestly, because like the show does such a good job with like Easter eggs and
Yep.
everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So it really does do an excellent job of like bringing everything together. But if you don't remember, here's the thing: if you don't remember little details, then some of it's not going to make sense to you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it is the little details in WandaVision that are super
it is.
important.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why it feels like everything is a spoiler.
So when so this is what I was saying. Elizabeth also, if this helps at all, this series is a lot of it based on House of M. If you look up some information about House of M, this might make a little bit more sense to you. So few years back, actually many years back, when Elizabeth Olsen was doing Age of Ultron, they were in interviews and they asked them in the interview what you'd like to see each of your characters expand to and that sort of thing. And Elizabeth Olsen is a huge fan of Marvel apparently, and she said there's this one comic, House of M. This is like 10 years ago. And she's like, it's basically Wanda goes crazy.
Right.
Like she loses her mind, and she's like, it might be a little too dark, but I'd love to see that.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting. They
Yes.
brought the accent back.
Yes,
yeah,
they
yeah. And that's what I mean.
did.
These little touches where they bring in, they harken back to like who she really is,
And
it gets really dark. And they've
here's
been
the
building
thing.
into that too.
When was the last time she used her accent? Was when she was more evil. Was
Yeah,
when
right,
she was
right.
more using her powers for Ultron and on the bad side and that sort of thing, right? So they're definitely like switching into that.
Yeah,
Right?
Ultron.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
Oh, so cool. Trav, you were saying you haven't watched the last 2 Avengers films? You mean like
Infinity War and Endgame? Oh my God, you have to.
Jinx. Oh, dude, that's like
And they're
just
so
eating the
good.
cake and not any icing.
And they're so good too.
yeah, they are. They're really well
like they're
done.
really, really good.
Is there a reason, just time, or like
Yeah.
were you kind of meh about it? What drove that? Like, why? Explain that insanity to me. Yeah, especially you, Trav, because I know you like the hero story, right? So
I am excited to see how everything
Interesting.
gets tied together.
yeah.
I'm very excited for it all.
And
Though.
the odd breakdown, guys. If you're into Wanda,
Yes.
check out New Rock Stars.
Yeah, on
Google
YouTube.
New Rock Stars. Eric Voss. Like, this guy does he and his team now, it's got to
Yeah.
be a team, a surgical, like, clinical breakdown of the craziest stuff. And at the end, you're like, oh my God. And it really does help
It
contextualize.
helps, yeah.
I find, and this is what I'm saying, like, I get what Aaron and are saying, because, like, I don't think I would enjoy WandaVision as much as I do without that context. And in fact, I might even say, like, it's kind of a missed opportunity for Disney Plus and Marvel to not be owning that themselves. Like, imagine they should be having like a post show, like like a
Nah,
WTF
because they
just
don't want
happened.
people figuring shit out.
No, that's true. That's true. But like someone like Eric Voss,
That's the thing.
like
leave
New
it to
Rockstars
him.
has to be on their radar now. Because they're basically like they're going in, they're meticulously analyzing every detail
But
in the show,
that's
and
the
they're
thing,
putting
though.
shit
as long
together.
As Disney's not doing it and releasing anything.
No, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like I think they just respect and appreciate that. Like, hey, all right, cool, let them have
Yes.
it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But New Rockstars Eric Voss says we have to shout out Eric Voss too
Yeah.
because we pull so much from
Oh,
him,
I
and it's a
pulled a
really
lot
great channel.
from
They
him
do so much
today,
work. in it.
exactly.
Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And we're gonna watch it today.
We sure are.
And there'll be music, just chatting, singers and swingers. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Twitch, man.
Speaking of which, they seem to be having some big problems. So, good game. Looks like we're back up now. Are we good? Everybody feeling okay? Are we safe? Are we sound? Are we whole? Let's take advantage of the moment to say thank you guys so much, of course, as always, for hanging out with us, making a Friday worth doing. Kicking off the weekend, right? Positivity, good vibes, and great conversation. We're back, of course, tomorrow, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for the Saturday morning pajama stream.
The Saturday morning pajama and rage.
And hopefully a slightly less rage-fueled
God.
playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima. We looked back on it last night, and I said, I was like, look, like, we got really frustrated at things that weren't always the game, but there are some things that we're just not happy with the game. Those are valid, the camera angles and stuff like that, but we'll save it for tomorrow. Otherwise, we know, like, when you get frustrated with a game, it's invariably going to impact how you feel about it too. So we're trying to keep it objective, but we're still having a good time. We're looking forward to playing it through tomorrow. We are going to take my suggestion tomorrow. We're going to go back and we're going to do some side quest cleanup. We're going to do some map exploration because we basically have nerfed ourselves in this game, and that's like the argument that I've been making too. So look forward to that tomorrow morning. And until next time, Bigly, any last words? Anything you want to add?
No. Go
All right,
watch
no,
WandaVision. Let
Watch
us know.
WandaVision. Yeah, let's compare notes. Community Gaming Night, Monday night. Think about that coming up. We'll have lots more information on it tomorrow and Sunday in my bonus stream. But until then, friends, happy gaming. Be good to one another. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for the Saturday morning pajama stream right here on BazNBigly. Take us out, Steffers.
Okay, bye.
Oh, don't hurt yourself. Good weekend.